Disclaimer: the information and education material contained herein is meant to promote the general understanding and dialogue of GAN's processing. Such information is not meant or intended to serve as a substitute for a healthcare professional's clinical training, experience, or judgment. For patients and individuals, such information is not to be a substitute for professional medical, therapeutic, or healthcare advice or counseling. For medical issues or concerns, including decisions about medications and other treatments, readers, viewers, listeners should always consult their physician or, in serious cases, seek immediate assistance from emergency personnel. Prescription information, procedures, and use of medical devices information should be undertaken only by properly trained and certified medical personnel. We specifically disclaim any warranties, express or implied, including implied warranties of merchantability or fitness for a particular purpose. Such information is provided, as is, and is believed to be accurate at the time of its publishing, but it is the viewer's job to evaluate the accuracy of any information found in this presentation. Every case presented is of their own experience, applied by themselves for themselves, and it applies to their case only. Every person experiencing health problems should seek professional medical advice and consult their course of treatment with a doctor. The processes of plasma balancing described herein are a natural process which supports the body but does not replace medical advice or therapies one is already subject to.
innovative, revolutionary, stellar development, purest universal knowledge, in a transformative, futuristic design. The Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit. The very first new evolutionary spaceship technology has been rolled out for mass production. Our Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit is constructed from high-quality materials carefully selected by our team of experts. Embedding the essence of the new GANS plasma science and technology, it uses collective plasma field technology for changing and enhancing the environment of the body of the man. This new plasma enhancement changes the environment of the body to allow it to return to its natural, balanced, energetic condition, as in the womb of the mother, allowing every cell in the body of the man to find its natural, original field strength balance. The shape and field distribution in this new space plasma technology replicates the inner structure of the universe and replicates the balanced fields from which the man was created at the point of inception in the womb of the mother, not only receiving balance in the physical, but also in the emotional sense too. For the first time in the history of man, a system has been developed and delivered, which not only enhances the physical body of the man, but also enhances the emotional part of the user of the system, hence reducing and eliminating many problems that could not be solved in the world of science, to bring the body of the man into near perfection, as at the time of birth. This new spaceship technology can be within the reach of every man today and can be ordered by medical practitioners, sports specialists, and healthcare centers. The Universal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, the future you have been waiting for, is here. The journey from space to spaceship technology has started. Every order is subject to a contractual agreement and might require additional accessories priced separately for applications according to each case. You can order or contact us at office@at.kfm.global for additional information.
Hello and welcome everyone to the 381st Knowledge Seekers Workshop. This is a broadcast of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute Education Department, part of
Buenas a todos.
in English.
Esta es una transmisión de la Fundación Keshe, la número 381, que se produce semanalmente todos los jueves, desde hace 8 años. Creemos que usted está listo para transmitir, señor Keshe.
Yes, good morning, good to you. As usual,
Sí.
whenever I listen to this series of knowledge,
Buenas a todos. Bienvenidos a todos.
Coming back to another session of learning from each other and elevating the soul of the man and the knowledge of the man. We are learning new ways to elevate, and at the same time, we are learning new.
Podrán aprender a cómo elevar su alma mediante estas enseñanzas. Todo referente a lo que es la creación y el creador.
Reach the goals of not only creating the conditions for knowledge seekers who know about knowledge, but in the long term, helping and setting up a new standard and levels for humanity in different nations and conditions. That we start interacting and bringing the technology to common man on the street and changing from.
Esperamos traer la tecnología y los conocimientos para poder influenciar o enseñar a la humanidad a que aplique todo esto para el crecimiento personal y de la humanidad entera.
In China, we have signed and taken over the largest manufacturing base for Keshe Foundation.
En China hemos firmado un convenio para hacernos cargo de una estructura muy grande de manufactura. Y esto pasa a ser la bandera principal de la fundación. Agradecemos a la líder china, Quan Lin, haber intercedido para hacer todo este trabajo y desarrollo.
We have already started transferring the funds for the factory to be set up. It's a large commitment on 9 floors, more or less, levels, and each floor, each section, 2,000 square meters.
Esta estructura tiene 9 pisos.
2,000 square meters will be engaged in specific goals for the foundation.
Y se va a dedicar a la parte cerámica y otras actividades.
Bringing China in line with Iran as part of CIVIC. One floor of this structure
está trabajando en conjunto con Irán
what we call technology reachable by the nation of China in conjunction with the Iranian space program. This factory will become one of the flagships of the Keshe Foundation.
Esta fábrica se convertirá en una de las tantas fábricas que tendrá la fundación. Y esto podrá aportar a lo que pretendemos hacer crecer la fundación en el futuro, con la colaboración también de Irán, con su centro de desarrollo espacial.
This is the next step. As we said, Keshe Foundation, with the permission of the Chinese authorities, has set up one of the largest what we call research and development
Agradecemos a los
China, which allows us to
chinos que han
with our work.
logrado
Thank the Chinese
construir este centro de desarrollo
Chinese leadership
para aportar toda esta tecnología
You
al
will see
mundo.
this will become where we concentrate the first flight system in the next 12 months in conjunction and collaboration between the two nations of Iran and China. And then the headquarters of the same operation you will see very soon in Tehran. We have started the process and
Desarrollo similar se verá en Teherán en los próximos días.
more prestigious than this, as has been allowed, and we'll announce in the coming time through Tehran. We have set out to bring change, and the time we have taken to do this has brought us to a new dimension. This needs vast amount of investment, not in financial part, but in the process of all of us being able
Esto ha
part of the
necesitado un esfuerzo por parte de la Fundación y de todos ustedes para poder
next
progresar en este desarrollo
days will
de esta tecnología.
inviting the Chinese community to join us to develop this center in China.
Hemos invitado a la comunidad china para que aporten su parte en este desarrollo.
To join and become part of
Que la comunidad
Keshe Foundation, that we can support the development and the spread of the technology in China.
china pueda unirse a este emprendimiento y aportar,
1,000 plus Chinese knowledge.
como todos nosotros,
The process of deployment will start in June.
para divulgar estos conocimientos y todo el desarrollo de la tecnología.
The factory with the full collaboration and cooperation of the Chinese Keshe Foundation and the setup that
Todo esto con la colaboración del grupo de China, que es grande.
where we are is where the Silk Road started. Chinese officials took us to this city some 3 years ago plus that they wanted the main center.
Y esto es
This is where
parte del grupo
found on
Cibru
was brought into
que
the rest of
China, Irán,
back of donkeys.
Rusia y Brasil,
This is the city and area
el grupo estructurado
planes were put on the back of
industrialmente y
donkeys and were taken across the Silk Road. The start of the Silk Road where China came to know to all of us.
de toda la tecnología que se está aplicando en el globo terrestre.
This area was part of the structure of the thinking of His Holiness President Xi of China, that the beginning of the Silk Road. As we know, it has taken a beautiful direction, and in that process, again, we brought the modern technology to where the first trading line of the Silk Road stopped. In so many ways,
Este grupo de Cibru empezó ahora unos 3 años y bueno, se está completando todo
factories which can support
su
the space
estructura para colaborar en todo este emprendimiento.
in this factory were the first what we call launching systems on the upper floors of this factory in the next few months will be developed, where Keshe Foundation in conjunction with the scientists from Chinese space organizations will gather in this area to
En los
make
próximos meses
new space.
veremos el desarrollo de todo lo que es la estructura
We have chosen this
para el lanzamiento al
for the Chinese officials.
espacio,
This is the
toda la tecnología espacial
where
para
China
poder
developed the
lograr
space hub.
los viajes espaciales
Not only for ceramic, but
al resto del universo.
aircraft and everything else. Part of this city PR, you always see test flights passing over when the Chinese test their latest aircraft systems or helicopters for the Chinese defense. We're going to replace this in a way with the new space flight systems. And this is the objective of this transition.
China ha estado desarrollando su estructura de defensa en todo lo que es aeronáutica y otras fuerzas, y ahora vamos a aportar los conocimientos de la fundación para que cambien ese desarrollo hacia la nueva tecnología espacial.
The funding to set this up is on commitment to bringing Keshe Foundation supporting itself to build it up in conjunction with governments. Now we become a joint collaboration between nations in what we call space technology. The center is not anymore
China está aportando fondos justamente para este desarrollo. Es una gran cantidad de fondos para lograr esta mejora en nuestra difusión de la tecnología.
We have this problem, we are prepared to pay for the solution, find a solution. And we already have started this path with the Chinese.
Los chinos han aportado los capitales necesarios y la fundación pone su parte en el aporte tecnológico para poder en conjunto lograr estos cambios.
This is the center for the artists. There are over 100,000 potters in this area. Each one has its own technique, has its own beauty, and we have established this place.
Esta zona está lleno de artistas en la parte de tecnología de la cerámica y cada uno aportará su conocimiento y su bagaje para el aporte de esta manufactura.
Whatever else these companies start coming out with, will be manufactured in this area, in these factories of Keshe Foundation. We're going to mass production, we change the course. The latest, what we call Keshe Foundation farming systems will be built in this factory and distributed around the world. The enhancement units of the Keshe Foundation, the large body enhancements, will be assembled and completed in this factory and will be sent across the world. We are in a good position, as you saw maybe in one of the videos, that we are in a new industrial development area. So we can extend these buildings across this road you saw. These buildings are all available to be extended. My plan, with the help of the Chinese authorities and the Iranian officials, as we talk in the background,
en la avenida o la arteria donde está construida tiene lugar y otros edificios que también podrán unirse a este proyecto para poder ampliar todo lo que es manufactura y desarrollo en favor de la fundación. La idea es traer todas estas naciones en unión para que aporte cada uno lo suyo en este desarrollo. No hemos dado la libertad a ningún gobierno para que se haga cargo de todo esto, sino que cada uno aportará y nosotros regiremos la forma en que se difunda y se trabaje con esta tecnología.
the Iranians, the American, British, the Italian.
La idea es que los chinos, los iraníes, los europeos, los británicos, Estados Unidos, cada uno ponga su parte y contribuyan al desarrollo de la estructura espacial. México también está aportando lo suyo con la nueva fábrica, la manufactura que se está montando allí.
So we are becoming as part of the same structure. As I promised to the Iranian officials, within 12 months from my return to Tehran, we put man on Mars. We put man on
Como hemos mencionado hoy, Irán pone su parte y en los próximos días yo me uniré a ellos en Teherán.
As we understand the new technology, with the new crafts, being able to create magnetic field barriers, being able to tune in a gravitational magnetic field of the Mars, understanding
Desde Irán podrán ver el desarrollo de las naves espaciales e intergalácticas con el sistema que aporta la fundación de la tecnología del espacio.
maybe less than 1 hour to Mars, much faster in the future. There is a lot of development coming. We see how much we can cross this barrier. We see new research papers coming from different institutes and organizations around the world who have started to understand the work and what we call interaction.
Estamos viendo muchos desarrollos y
New papers, plasma technology being published.
papeles técnicos aportados por distintas instituciones que están aprendiendo y teniendo en consideración esta tecnología para el nuevo desarrollo. En cierta forma hemos puesto la base de esta fundación, de este emprendimiento que será el futuro para la humanidad.
Keshe Foundation office has already started companies and the structures for this to be operational in Tehran has already started with Keshe Foundation in Iran, and these become joint collaborations. And we see in knowledge seekers not just to making answers, but trying to take the technology a step further. That we start producing food, we start producing energy support, we start producing interaction of the fields, what we call gases of gases to make. Now we have to make field of the gases.
Estamos viendo también el aporte de todos los buscadores del conocimiento con toda la tecnología de los ganses y de los ganses y ganses de ganses para aplicar a todos estos desarrollos.
When in the present science we work with our systems, we have a very different understanding of the totality. In the science and the space of the plasma technology of today,
nosotros aplicamos toda una tecnología y un desarrollo nuevo desconocido por la ciencia actual. Y esperamos que se unan a este desarrollo para el futuro de la humanidad.
But if we really look at that little white ball as a gas, as a single molecular gas structure, we see the fields which comes out of it. And in so many ways, these fields are not
Este punto blanco,
the same.
si lo visualizamos como un GANS, aporta todos sus campo de energía
one means and how you can elevate and evaluate, how to replicate,
y
how
cómo interactúa con su entorno.
in self for itself become a heartbeat of itself.
Y tiene un latido
One of these heartbeats, you
propio
heartbeat of the system. In
que aporta a
common
este
time,
sistema.
you need one GANs to be able to reach the whole of the universe and miracles. When the knowledge of
Solo necesitarán una especie de GANs para poder llegar a todo el espacio.
each GANs in each strength, and each strength links itself to a position and a dimension.
Cada campo de fuerza de cada tipo de GANs aporta su parte a este conjunto.
If you remember, I explained to you last week about how we put the dough through different systems and it became like a spaghetti. How it became.
Si recuerdan la semana pasada cuando expliqué donde
If you remember,
forman la masa, la amalgama, y lo van desarrollando y
each
al final logran esos espaguetis.
ends up in one place or the other. And this is what I say to you, that one GANs
Y cómo los distintos ganses interactúan con todo
the
este
universe and the universe. And
desarrollo.
find that elusive light of the Creator, the strength of His line of understanding and generosity, will find a path directly to the Creator.
Y con la unión y aporte del Creador podrán ustedes desarrollar todos estos conocimientos. El hombre tiene que aprender a desarrollar y a poner su aporte hacia esto.
And then we see that how one single magnet in the center, in positioning it, makes the rest.
Visualizan cómo cuando jugamos con imanes
And then
y tenemos un imán en algún lugar
some
y lo movemos, este desplaza todo el resto. Esto nos da una idea de cómo
in a way
un campo de fuerza logra desplazar todo el entorno, reacomodar cada
and in that
ente o cada elemento en su entorno.
this one connects with the strength of this, while this one in it has the strength of this.
Este se relaciona con este y este con el otro y así cada uno interactúa
But this time
y trabaja en conjunto.
they adjust to the new position. So in a way,
Y cada uno busca su
no
posición,
difference.
su equilibrio.
The magnet and
Esto nos da una idea de cómo todo tiene que funcionar o funciona en el universo.
look at the two, and you understand the same. You have seen this in a physical dimension in the world of man. Now you have to learn the same thing exists in the
Esto lo visualizan en el mundo material del hombre.
because for that GANs
Lo
to be in
mismo
that position,
debe aplicarse o se aplica en el universo,
collection of the field, not only with all the gases that
en la inmensidad del universo.
every other things which is created within it. Now the only difference is you have to mentally envisage or mentally understand that here
A partir de ahora ustedes tienen que visualizar, mentalizarse
state of the
cómo todos estos campos de energía trabajan como trabajan acá en la parte materia, trabajan en el resto del universo, en todos los niveles.
But what happened now? If I show you the whiteboard, on this whiteboard you see nothing.
Ahora le muestro el pizarrón limpio, no ven nada.
In the background is an ocean of fields. Man
En el fondo hay todo un campo de campos de energía,
took
de flujos de energía.
to learn that what can I feel with the emotion of the fields on this whiteboard? Do I need to see it to believe it, or I'm aware of its existence?
Necesito ver
Even the existence of this whiteboard
estos campos, estos flujos de energía.
existence of fields. It's you
Debo visualizarlos en
yourself
mi mente
visuality.
para poder conceptualizar la forma en que trabaja.
Mankind in space will face this. What is this? What is on this? Is there a field on it? And what is this field? I don't need to see.
¿Hay una interacción entre cada cosa? Sí, hay una interacción entre cada elemento.
Forces of it. When you
Como lo hace un campo magnético, así lo hace todo en el universo.
under the field balance interaction entity could be a magnet or anything else. But you know, sometimes I carry it in my hand, and if it comes across a metal around a magnet, suddenly out of nowhere, I just know that it's something. Now
Cuando hay un
has to become
cambio en algo en mi entorno, ahí puedo percibir de que hay algo que está influenciando sobre él,
we could feel the heat.
y que se produce ese cambio por
We can
esa interrelación entre uno y otro.
And now mankind, the strength of the soul and understanding of it, has to develop a new sense
La fuerza del alma de cada
of creation.
elemento aporta lo suyo.
But we have to strengthen this within the structure of the soul of the man, which is in the plasma condition.
Lo que debemos hacer es reforzar esta estructura del alma para que eleve su
Need of my
influencia en este
years ago. It is so
entorno de
I feel
campos de energía.
the strength of the planet Mars, but on the other hand, I want to be in planet Zeus.
El alma dirá,
We cannot
quiero estar sobre Marte, en el Sol o en el planeta Zeus.
man in space has no hands and no arms when it travels the dimension of the soul, where you want to hide your meter or your detector. And secondly, if a machine can detect the fields, your brain, your soul, which is in a much more advanced stage, how come it misses? Mankind will be taught how
Vuestra alma está mucho mejor capacitada que cualquier máquina para poder
what is the connection,
posicionarse
what is the
en el universo,
different fields.
poder
What happened
desarrollar
this and this
esta tecnología para poder llegar a cualquier lado que desee.
and things at this point are seen or sound from the heart. Now connect to it, to the position and the condition. In a way, when mankind needs and understands the interaction of these, will create a three-dimensional fields, emotion and understanding and strength.
Cuando el alma aprenda a trabajar con su emoción y con su conexión a cada punto donde desea llegar, podrá lograr todo este trabajo, este futuro desarrollo que pretendemos enseñar.
And I found this and I learned something from it. But it's not in the background of your thoughts that the soul of the
Cada uno de ustedes dice,
and the
ap- me enteré de este desarrollo y me acoplé. No, ustedes ya
the same as what
estaban conscientes o inconscientemente sabiendo de que cada uno quiere aprender y desarrollar esto.
this is the process of teaching, which in the coming time we allow it and we teach it to be developed that the mankind chooses the walk, the donkey, the
En el
jet, the UFO.
futuro próximo iremos enseñando y desarrollando toda esta tecnología y este conocimiento. La conexión del alma del hombre con todo su entorno.
In my walking, I want to be close to my son and to my father on planet Zeus, but I allow the extension of the soul of me to be
Cada uno podrá lograr la extensión de su alma, su
with the whole structure.
desarrollo de ese conocimiento para poder lograr todo lo que desee.
Physical body of the man on Everest. But I think I'm closest to the creator, but in fact I'm rotating like a spinner at high speeds, and my soul continuously has to find out how to tune to everything. In a way, once we connect the lines, we are part of the totality of the structure. In a way, the new spacecraft technology is about the life of the man in the universe, not just the gas in the cup.
El futuro de
You take from this technology,
este desarrollo es que el hombre aprenda a, no solo a trabajar con los GAN, sino a
creation, and
lograr ese nivel de desarrollo de su alma con el entorno.
in so many ways, we have entered, or we are entering a new levels of development. The process for us is
Estamos entrando en un nuevo momento del desarrollo de la humanidad.
Magraph system and happy. These things for us was in a way a sweetener, a catch, a point where we could bring the attention of the man so physical to be attracted to the knowledge of the Creator.
El Mangraph fue desarrollado o enseñado para que capture la imaginación del ser humano en su estado de materia para poder lograr esta conjunción con estos campos de energía.
The cake of the knowledge is limitless, and it depends what is sweet to you and what is the purpose of that piece of cake that you take from the knowledge of the Creator. Some are happy with the crumbs of the knowledge and the claim.
Cada uno de ustedes tendrá que
The cake, the knowledge, the totality,
aprender y tomar parte de este conocimiento del Creador y,
make it even
e ir desarrollando
people that according to their
lo que
understanding
tiene
take different
dentro de
sides,
su capacidad.
but everybody has a piece of it. In a way, that piece is with us. We call it the soul of the man.
Lo importante es lograr la paz
Much of
para que
we want
este desarrollo pueda explayarse,
As I always say,
difundirse.
when you stop sharing, you stop learning, you stop receiving. In so many ways, thou shalt not steal. And this means not just the wealth, but you cannot steal.
Esto también implica en que no robarás, no matarás, todos los mandamientos que se han aportado.
To find a new position in the structure of the, what we call their soul in the realm of the creation and the creator. In the coming days, we teach you more. In the coming
En los próximos días seguiremos enseñando todo esto
trust to understand, to feel,
para que comprendan y entiendan cómo toda esta tecnología se puede aplicar en todos los niveles.
Which to you is something for Corona, is something for my eye, is something for my body. But the teaching has been the process of man now to understand and to trust the fields. The ganses, you were happy for thousands of
Deben aprender a tener confianza en todo lo que es estos campos de energía para ir trabajando, interactuando, aprendiendo a manejar su uso.
And now the process has gone very softly in the process of understanding the fields of gases, how to trust and gradually how to feel and see the operation, and in a very subtle way, as experience of said, I've been a teacher for long enough to know how to teach each race and what they allow, what race that allows them to become part of the universal community. I have done this many times across the universe, so I know how created things work, always wanting to receive.
He hecho esto muchas veces en el universo, enseñar toda esta tecnología para que se aplique para el desarrollo de las distintas humanidades que componen este universo. Lo que puedo ver es que este virus, esta corona, nos ha empujado a desarrollar nuevas tecnologías y para afrontar todo esto. Nos ha unido en este emprendimiento.
Now I'm reading the plasma. Now, at the same time, the same plasma has become part of me as it goes through me and is on the cup on the water, which is absorbed in the matter state when I drink it.
Debemos aprender a trabajar con estos campos del plasma para lograr todos estos cometidos, estos cambios, estos desarrollos. En la unidad de salud logramos esto. El desarrollo logrado en esta unidad es algo inédito. Logramos recuperar y elevar el estado de cada persona, de cada alma.
With the new air sensor unit, we do the whole three, we don't think about it, and we create that process of elevation. Understand?
Antes ustedes tenían la conciencia de que tomarían el agua plasmática para encontrar ese conocimiento, ese desarrollo, ese equilibrio. Ahora, esta unidad de salud logra todo esto en todos los niveles.
Of the environment to add it to the fields of the soul that creates the elevation of the physicality, the soul of the man and the soul of physicality.
Esta unidad logra el equilibrio entre todo el entorno, el alma del hombre, la estructura del físico del hombre.
We deliver a combination of the totality. They've been built in that way. They carry more or less a combination of the fields the man needs to elevate.
Estas unidades de salud nuevas que se están desarrollando logran este equilibrio para que cada persona que se ubique en esta unidad logre el equilibrio y esa conexión con todo su entorno. Con el respirador, con esta unidad se logra el equilibrio del estado de la atmósfera que se respira. Esto logra que el ser humano eleve su nivel, le aporta pequeños aportes a su desarrollo, a su parte física, para que también esto aporte esa elevación espiritual y del alma.
Now we can speak about the technology. Now we can talk about the technology because
Ahora podemos hablar de esta tecnología. Deberemos aplicarla, aprenderla. Y enseñarla.
But in a more concentrated way. The glasses which we have put on is not so much for your eye, it's for the eye of the soul. It is there to bring a faster development into elevation of the soul of the man directly in the process of understanding. When we released the glasses, that was the whole purpose of direct connection, direct elevation, direct work with the soul of the man. As I said, I hide the technology of the universe within simple systems that we can bring that position.
Les he dicho varias veces que he escondido el desarrollo dentro de estas pequeñas cosas para que puedan ir elevando su nivel de energía, su conexión con el resto del universo.
But I can let them choose. With the new delivery of simple technologies, I have hidden the knowledge of the universe in a very simple way.
Dentro de cada una de estas pequeñas cosas he escondido esta tecnología del universo.
And the reason we do this, because now it's time to create that, not the elite group, but the ones who are aware of. You will not see your soul flying but with the glasses on, but the soul receives in a very simple way the dimension of the field of the universe. You remember the way we used to put gases on top of the plants and water them and absorbs the field of the amino acid of the plants? Now this I plus that air filter system is the same thing, but it's just the strength that brings the fields of the universe to the soul. Now that grain of rice on top of the plant of rice was the receiver. Now the grain of the soul of the man is in the same position.
Hemos desarrollado estos
We developed technology
anteojos
having the knowledge of the universe
para ayudar a todo este desarrollo de la visualización.
showing this. Push not to force people to understand, we push to accommodate that the soul elevates and will understand. There are two different ways to do the same thing. You can drag a child with water, but you can bring the water and the child drinks it with pleasure. I change the direction of the Kishwan in the past few months. And you will see more of systems which will deliver, which will hide this technology, but directly goes for elevation of the soul of man, the soul of physicality, and allows man to evolve. So so many ways. These are complex but simple ways to bring the collection of the energies, and this moment in time man can understand. In the other step, as you've seen in the GANS technology, we brought the condition of environment in the body enhancement unit. In the vertical enhancement unit, we are doing the same, but the new vertical enhancement unit creates the encapsulation of the fields of the body of the man to be able to elevate the level, to be able to travel.
El desarrollo de todos estos accesorios, igual que en la unidad vertical de la salud,
Vertical enhancement units is book number 2.
hemos concentrado estos campos para poder lograr el equilibrio.
Where I want to transport the soul of to a new dimension, or the physicality of the soul of the man with the cancer to a new position. If I take the cancer cell out of your body, it will grow another. But if I elevate in the same
Desgraciadamente no les puedo traducir todo porque escucho menos de la mitad de lo que se dice y encima burbujeando en una sustancia como un agua. Es prácticamente imposible de entrañar lo que está diciendo el señor Keshe, especialmente con estas nuevas ideas que está aportando. Es imposible hilvanar todo el concepto de lo que está queriendo decir.
Many of you will come to understand that the new enhancement units, the vertical and the new horizontal advanced system which is coming up, we'll show it maybe in about 4 or 5 weeks' time, was our team.
Dentro de 4 o 5 semanas mostraremos el nuevo desarrollo de esta unidad de salud.
Now with China and Tehran coming into operation, many of the enhancement units will be manufactured into these countries.
Con el nuevo emprendimiento que arranca en estos días en Irán, junto con el desarrollo hecho en China, podrá traernos todo este conocimiento y desarrollo a la humanidad.
You don't understand nothing in it. It's just something you hold on to dial the number you reach it. But this time, you have to understand the knowledge, what's in it, how it works, and how you can manipulate.
Tendrán que ir aprendiendo cómo estos conocimientos aportan al desarrollo, a la comprensión de todo esto.
I have changed the mobile phone from you, from these little tiny things in your hand, you shout down, whatever, you know, it goes somewhere, somebody else will listen to you. Now I'm giving you the mobile phone of your soul, and the soul of your physicality. It's you who has to understand how to communicate, how to be in connection with both.
Ustedes deberán aprender a comunicarse con este nuevo desarrollo, con todos, como si fuera un celular. Pero ustedes logran eso con este conocimiento.
Or things which connects to me and have a connection emotional with me. We will not travel by GPS anymore. We travel by the field strength of the environment, the matches to the design, physicality.
Lo que lograremos es viajar no teniendo el conocimiento del GPS que nos guíe, sino que esta conexión de nuestra alma con el resto de los campos de energía y el universo, para que el alma haga esta conexión.
Have an understanding of the position, and they know that in the shape of the man, you cannot appear in that position. It doesn't fit. The field strengths are different. In so many ways, even when you look at these butterflies, which we have put, it's part of the same process. You look at it and absorbing the fields, but in a coming future, as I told you, nobody can copy these butterflies. The number of hidden technologies in it that these would
En este simple accesorio, esta flor o estos infinitos, hemos aplicado una tecnología imposible de duplicar y tiene un montón de propiedades nuevas.
access to universal dimensions. You cannot understand. You can do anything you like with it. But in so many ways, I covered a whole million in one simple system like this. Cannot be replicated. People can do
En este pequeño sistema se ha encerrado todo un conocimiento, un desarrollo que le será imposible comprender.
The decision of the use will come through the soul. I explain this in a very simple system because in a very simple way I have given you the tools of elevation, but in so many ways
En una manera muy simple le he dado el alimento para este desarrollo, el conocimiento.
this is the body of the man, and I put
Es el cuerpo del hombre.
to be able to do the field elevation. Some of it your body, some of it
Y mediante estos respiradores podrán elevar
a cup of water which is in the room
su capacidad
because the fields are already deposited within it. With the glasses, I gave you the dimension of the targeting.
con los respiradores podrán mejorar
Call butterflies.
nuestro alcance y con los
You know how to do
nuevos lentes también lo lograrán.
the aerial desk.
Y con el infinito o la mariposa también. Todo esto aporta
All the time.
a esto.
But there's one thing. We have not given you the full access to the knowledge. Because man
Pero lo importante es que no le hemos dado todo el alcance de esta tecnología, todo el conocimiento. Deberán ir
look
aportando cada uno de ustedes
in a very simple way.
su grano de arena, de una manera muy simple.
Two infinity loops. Access to totality of knowledge and knowledge of the
Dos
creation in every dimension.
infinitos aportan todo el desarrollo.
The only unfortunate thing is I cannot send you a cable. As you've been on the internet, nowadays you can buy invisible cables to connect your systems together.
Este doble infinito se pondrá en contacto con ustedes
Invisible
y
cables
esto
that you connect your programs
logrará que ustedes conecten con el resto.
giving you very much the same. This cable is not for sale. You have to understand with the new technology how you can receive the fields of the universe right across in every dimension and direction, and how to become a connector of the whole. The only difference is when you go in the Keshe Foundation vertical system, we have already placed everything for the process. The blowing of the what we call the fields.
En el desarrollo del sistema vertical ya hemos aportado inclusive el sistema para respiración, el sistema para los anteojos.
You remember a long time ago I told you
Y la mariposa o el doble infinito. Todo esto en conjunto trabajará para elevar todo esto, estos conocimientos, este desarrollo.
the knowledge in these technologies is so hidden that even our knowledge
La tecnología de esto está tan oculta que no la podrán copiar, pero sí utilizar.
enhancement unit in it, with it, and across it, transmute you to anywhere, to any strength field, another position, in another dimension in the universe.
Con esto se podrán desplazarse a cualquier punto del universo, a cualquier nivel.
Position as a man, or as a blob, or as an eight-legged man. Because now I need a connection through the soul of the man.
He logrado esto a través de la conexión del alma del hombre.
You bought a butterfly for iPhone. I gave you access to the universe.
Ustedes han comprado una mariposa para aplicar a su celular. Yo le he dado la conexión con el resto del universo.
Why we start setting up these huge factories.
Ahora verán por qué yo he montado estas grandes fábricas alrededor del mundo.
It's you who has to decide how to decide.
Ustedes son los que tienen que decidir cómo van a desentrañar y aplicar todo esto.
The choo-choo noise in the background, with the speaker announcing everything else, with the trolley man taking the tea, with the others making a mobile phone call, with the others making different noises, going through the noise of the tunnel, with the sunshine shining through the window, but you sit across your lover, you hear none, except the voice and the beauty of the love. Because you have targeted the emotion and every other sense I don't want to know except the voice of the love. Now we show you how through these technologies that every point of the universe is a lover. In which way you want to travel, in which way you want to connect with your lover. I want to love to see the star David. I love to see the moon, and I like to be in that unicorns in that position. Now you understand how I have hidden the knowledge of the Creator within a few tools, as the man is so physical.
Ustedes podrán aplicar esta tecnología para poder conectarse con vuestro amor en el lugar donde se encuentre.
In reality,
Ahora comprendan cómo mediante estos simples accesorios lo podrán hacer.
2 million euros for the glasses. And maybe be very generous and charge another 5 or 10 million because you're all money men for the headroom. And the butterfly is priceless.
Este simple accesorio, esta doble infinito, esta mariposa, no tiene precio. La capacidad de este accesorio no tiene límite. Está relacionado con la totalidad del conocimiento de la creación.
Isn't this cup 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5? When all are connected, because without it nothing can exist. Central gravity.
Acá podemos visualizar la torre de las copas que se le ha aportado y se conecta este grupo de las 5 copas con el doble infinito.
Taken for a ride because of your ignorance.
Cómo con este simple accesorio pueden tener un viaje o lo puedo hacer viajar donde vuestra alma lo desee.
Because the secret of the creation is hidden within.
El secreto de la creación está escondido dentro de él.
Is the third dimension of the universe. This is what mankind needs to understand.
Esto es lo que la humanidad debe comprender.
Shall never be able to replicate.
Nunca podrán replicar, copiar estos accesorios que está fabricado por la fundación. Cada desarrollo tiene su secreto,
Now you understand how
su aporte para que cada uno de ustedes pueda crecer en conocimiento y en su espiritualidad.
and why we set out to set up these huge manufacturing factories and what we call space development.
Ahora podrán ver por qué hemos desarrollado estas grandes fábricas, estos emprendimientos para poder aportar todos estos accesorios.
Remember one. At the end of it, you're still in that process of the spaghetti machine.
Recuerden, todo esto son accesorios para que aporten,
Depends how
como la máquina esa amasadora
you
que
want to
aportan los fideos a lo largo de la manufactura de los espagueti.
when you made dough. Does not matter where you pick up, what thickness of the spaghetti you pick the spaghetti from, the taste will always be the same because it's the same.
Recuerden que todo no depende de qué tipo de espagueti, si es fino o grueso. Todos están compuestos por la misma materia, la misma masa original.
This is what the knowledge seekers of the future will come to understand more.
Esto es lo que los buscadores del conocimiento irán comprendiendo en el futuro.
Mankind will start looking for new fields of new strength, but
La humanidad buscará nuevos campos,
one can
nuevas
one simple
fuerzas de energía.
connect. But it's you who has to decide. You get on bus number 1 or you get on bus number 2. You want to go to the football stadium.
Todo dependerá de cada uno. Podrá tomar el primer
When he goes to the depot,
transporte, o el segundo o el tercero. Cada uno de ustedes define qué es lo que va a
it's
hacer.
you who have to understand. The bus is the same. It just has a different destination. The bus is the soul of the It's you who have to decide the
Cada transporte tiene su destino. Cada uno buscará su propio destino.
understanding of the process of revelation of the soul of man is very simple. But the man is so physical that we have to find every trick to get man.
El hombre es tan físico que uno tiene que buscar
Because he
distintos engaños para
say
que cada uno de ustedes logre desarrollar, aprender
hold up physicality, being the world
y lograr ese nivel de
as
conocimiento.
human race chosen to be more physical
La raza humana ha elegido
is
ser más físico que espiritual.
and the sooner or later when mankind comes to understand this fact, the sooner or later man decides which level he wants to fly. Not all of us wants to reach the creator because when we come here to create it, there's so many beautiful things that I want to see. And when I appear in front of my creator, I say, I've seen your beauties. I haven't been so selfish that I came just to see you because I don't understand you if I haven't seen your beauties. I cannot confirm your beauty if I haven't been to see all of it or some of it to respect your creation. In so many ways, mankind will come to change. In so many ways, will become the travels of the universe, but now we got travels of the cities and towns and countries. In so many
Como ahora
ways,
somos
we will change.
navegantes en nuestras ciudades, en nuestros campos, en el futuro lograremos esto en el espacio,
Passport for the universe. If
en
you
el
have
universo.
a passport on this planet, really, I've played this game for long enough. Came, there was no passports. Let the cross. I walked across the man when he put line on it, and then he produced papers to see who's who and who can pass what dimension, which borders. And then we don't want you, and we want you, you can come here because you're black or white, you don't carry the right color passport, and the English is slightly different. There are no passports in the world of the creation of the Creator.
En este nuevo mundo no tendrán pasaportes, no tendrán condicionamientos de estudio y de comprensión.
All have been given the passport to reach the Creator, to understand God's beauty.
Tendrán el pasaporte para llegar al Creador. Cada uno podrá desarrollar dentro de sus propios límites ese camino para ir hacia el Creador.
Because the arrogance of the physicality of the man has locked the man to the dimension of his physical life. This is why we come to the point of separation of death of the physicality, because the soul wants to reach that point, to reach the Creator, not to the
Hemos llegado hasta comprender cómo no hace falta la muerte para llegar a estos conocimientos. Podremos superar esta instancia y desarrollar toda esta evolución de cada uno de ustedes, cada uno por su cuenta. Desarrollar este conocimiento, esta evolución.
But at the end of it, the whole field to reach the Creator has been within the center of man and not realizing it because he well understood the process of the creation. he always looked at the hand and the feet.
Deberán ir comprendiendo lo que es el proceso de la creación,
And now you have to reach
aplicar las distintas etapas para que ustedes evolucionen.
never age, man will never die. The fountain of youth, the fountain of life, is the knowledge of the Creator, not the water you drink or food which gives you youth. The true knowledge of the true understanding, the fountain of youth, is understanding the knowledge of the Creator. That with it, you never die, you're always young. Because with that, you
El
don't
verdadero conocimiento para llegar al Creador está en ustedes. Deberán ir comprendiendo cada paso e ir desarrollándolo.
start from child. Because how the man was to see, and I die as an old man, and the next time I appeared in another village, I came as a child.
No será necesario que
Because it's how
crezcan,
you see the beauty and you understand
envejezcan y vuelvan a nacer para
that man
comprender y aprender todo esto. Podrán lograr esto
understand how I could be when I appeared as a son.
sin esta necesidad.
In the same way, again and again, starting from the child, to see how the balance and understanding that was
Evitar tener que empezar cada vez
the son of the king to the king who
que
is
se
on the head, but they've had
corporicen en un cuerpo de una criatura, aprender, crecer. Podrán evitar todos estos pasos intermedios para crecer espiritualmente.
man who was on the cross in the dimension of physicality. It's man who put himself on the cross of life, and it's man who has chosen the path of physicality.
Es el hombre el que eligió vivir esta manera en el cuerpo físico
But now we have learned
y esclavizarse a esos ciclos.
to play with tools,
Deberá comprender todo esto
to say I possess
y cambiar su forma de vivir
the glass and the air.
estas experiencias y aprender a desarrollar su comprensión.
Putting it on the eye and making it, you have to understand how to connect to it and to bring up the relation. Otherwise, it's a blind on the eye of the donkey. It is the process of understanding all. Or people recall the kingdom of this God is the creator, is the man who has to decide how he reaches the point of the understanding of the creation.
Cada hombre decidirá cómo logrará este nivel
So,
y a qué nivel va a llegar
element
de su propia
have
evolución.
given you some of the understanding to be able to reach the level of the position and position. You have to choose. In a way, you need a magnet to be able to
En cierta forma, cada uno de ustedes necesita este imán para lograr detectar o visualizar estos campos de energía. Comprendan estas enseñanzas, desarrollen su capacidad para lograr estos niveles superiores de comprensión. Compartan esos campos de energía del universo.
The soul, the creator, and the soul of the love of the created. And in that process, in the interaction between the two, we have created.
Ustedes han sido creados
In so many ways,
a través de la relación entre
is to be that love.
esos campos de energía
And in so many ways,
de vuestros ancestros con su relación con el Creador. Todos estos campos son los que ha desarrollado vuestra creación, vuestra vida, y que deberán comprender cómo utilizarla para evolucionar y lograr esa conexión con el Creador.
Could he show and confirm that his radiating is love? In so many ways, mankind moves to a new dimension. Mankind moves in the dimension.
La humanidad tiene esta conexión con esta nueva dimensión. Cada uno de ustedes deberá desarrollarla.
In respect to the strength of the field of the Creator. The less I possess, the more I give, the closer I become.
Lo menos que poseo, lo más que doy,
The weaker
que aporto a esto.
holding on to allows me to trust Him to be the holder of my soul. Attachment. In so many ways, mankind has to understand that only the life exists in the dimension of physicality, but that it exists in the dimension of the fields of the Creator and the Created. In so many ways, you become in so many ways, if you expand enough that there is no field to hold on to, but you're just the process of what I call share, you become so one needs to understand the strength of and the delicacy of handling the two. And as mankind and the rest of the creation and creators have been so physical, the Creator created into vicious fields, into the two that covered all sides of creation and the creator. In so many ways, the love and the lover, and the sharing of the love with the lover. As much as the Creator is in love with me,
John.
is in love with the Creator.
Sí,
Both give
No, hombre.
additionally
¿Qué dice?
process of taking and giving.
es que es imposible descifrar lo que dice. Yo estoy escuchando la tercera parte de cada palabra
Beauty of it
con un
is
eco de fondo,
Pero te subo el volumen yo.
pero vas a tener más eco seguramente. Haz la prueba.
A ver.
existence of the Creator comes that leads
Sí, no, el eco es imposible
where
de
the
descifrar.
originals of the creation of what we call the magnetic fields.
¿Qué hago? ¿Lo bajo?
Dejarlo en
But
un
the
punto
first
intermedio, a ver qué puedo descifrar.
What is the essence of the creation? That in the
Porque es
lower
difícil
frequencies,
descifrar
the chair, the
una
table,
palabra
the spoon,
escuchando
the
dos
food,
letras
everything
con un
else,
eco en el
man has
fondo
connected himself to.
y percibir el
What
concepto.
happens after the cloth disappears? After
Acuérdate
the
que yo
chair becomes the energy of the
traduzco
universe.
conceptos, no palabras.
Ya, ya,
Weight
ya.
becomes another
Así,
part
así
of
está
the
bien el
No es
audio.
fácil.
Así está bien
No,
o.
un poco más bajo.
Why? In such a strength we see it in the dimension of physicality.
Porque ese eco que se repite 5 o 6 veces te
Man
perfora el
is
oído.
not
Claro.
the Creator. The biggest question for the universal community is to understand what created it.
No tengo un aparato que me amplifica todo eso, pero me
You cannot
Vale, así.
incrementa el efecto del
fields
eco.
of it
¿Así?
they come from
Veremos,
Vale.
déjame tratar de comprender qué es lo que está diciendo.
Muy bien. Venga, gracias.
But how was the creator created? You cannot
Ahí
have
está hablando de
children
cómo
bring
el
feelings of
creador ha
sex.
sido creado,
You cannot have the
pero
birth of
sinceramente no sé de qué.
have the man if you bring trillions of energy fields in the name of the cell of the heart, the brain, the emotion, and the rest. And all came from the energies and the fields and the interaction of them on this.
Cada uno de ustedes ha sido creado de trillones de campos de energía, de fuerzas,
That it became
de energía, de flujos. Cada uno está compuesto por estas.
is the creator a ray of light, or is the creator a collection of the fields?
Es el creador, el que ha creado todo esto, es la conjunción de todos estos campos de energía.
Specific passage in book number 2, you have found your creator. The origin of the creation.
Leyendo el libro
Creator
número
was
2
created.
podrán ir comprendiendo esto.
I've hidden it in one sentence in book number 2. When I wrote it, I wondered when man will become wise to understand this word.
Deberán desentrañar
An application and implication
lo que le he tratado de
will reach to
inculcar
understand
en
the
este
beauty of the soul.
libro número 2.
How is created
Ahí está el gran secreto en un par de oraciones.
because it comes from the light. It manifests itself in the dimension of the interaction of itself by itself and becomes the light of knowledge, the light of what we call
La luz es la comprensión, es el conocimiento. Deberán entender y comprender lo que les he tratado de inculcar en este libro número 2.
Different names will move whatever to move their souls from this planet as they know how they have abused the man. The understanding of the totality of the knowledge of the creation is not to be able to fly, is to be able to understand the strength, the knowledge of the fields of the Creator. What has led to my creation,
Las enseñanzas
that field, that light,
que podrán
what led to creation of that
ir
field,
desentrañando
what was the
no
original
son para que aprendan a volar, sino que para que incrementen su comprensión de todo este conocimiento y vayan desarrollando estos conocimientos.
In a way, we call it chemistry. But in a way, we talk about the chemistry of the fields, which led to the creation of the planet. But
Lo llamamos como la
where
química
did our fields
de
come from?
estos
That led to the
campos.
creation of it. That the interaction of the field of him
Pero deben
led to the
comprender
creation of
cómo
this.
interaccionan cada uno de estos
Or how we
flujos de
are
energía.
of the motion of the fields in different strengths and dimensions within the same ray, in the same cylindrical motion. But there is one fact that where did this ray come from? And where is it going to? That at this moment of time, as it's moving in the span of its own
Deberán
creation,
desentrañar de cómo todos estos campos, de dónde provienen, para qué provienen y cuál es el objetivo para que sigan creciendo, desarrollando su comprensión de toda esta tecnología.
The scientists of today, they tell us that the universe is expanding. It cannot expand if there was not something for it to expand into, and something to expand into to confirm.
Los científicos de hoy en día dicen que el universo está expandiendo, pero si no hay un crecimiento de lo que lo compone, no puede haber una expansión.
You have to create a room that it can blow that air into the balloon that it confirms existence in its volume. So,
Para crecer, todo debe tener un aporte para ese crecimiento. Si ustedes están inflando un globo, deberán aportar el suficiente aire para incrementar el tamaño de ese globo. Si no, no lograrán nada.
Mankind has to open its eyes and spend more time in understanding process.
Deberán abrir cada uno de ustedes sus ojos. Los científicos nos han dicho que nada crece, nada evoluciona, nada, todo se transforma, pero no es así, todo crece. La energía va creciendo, todo el universo va creciendo. Y cada uno de nosotros aporta su parte para ese crecimiento.
From this universe or other universes, a collection of interaction of the fields to confirm their existence, we call it the soul. The creation of the heartbeat.
Esta interacción de todos estos campos de energía son parte de lo que llamamos el alma.
Is the interaction of the gravity and the magnetical field, and when you give it the rhythm, it's a pump which absorbs the field of the universe according to the soul of wisdom, soul of atom, the soul of the electron.
La fuerza de cada alma de ustedes aporta lo suyo. Deberá aprender a trabajar con esto.
The strength of the heartbeat and what is beating, what is created that beat, what is coming in to create that beat, and what is given out to keep that beat at a constant rate to be there. So, in the newer space technology after coming up,
el alma deberá aprender a desarrollarse con ese latido del corazón, esa energía de ese latido.
They become planet Mars, become the soul of man, or the physicality of man in the soul of his creation. The knowledge of the universe is very simple. Is man, by not understanding it, has made it so complicated, and then has put value on different measures of the strength.
El hombre ha complicado estos conocimientos y le ha puesto un valor a todo esto. Y ahí es donde se ha puesto los grillos para no poder crecer. Deberá sacarse esto encima y crecer espiritualmente, hacer crecer su alma para lograr esa conexión con el Creador.
In a way, you can appear in any shape or form, but at the end, you are only conditioned to the manifestation of position of the environmental field strength, and nothing else, even the Creator himself.
Cada uno de ustedes decidirá en qué posición este crecimiento se encontrará e irá desarrollando su evolución, ese camino hacia el Creador.
are we? In totality of all the universes and unicosmos, we see the self and the skin of the toe of the Creator? Or are we sitting within the center, the soul of the Creator, as a field, strength, and dimension and the movement? As I have hidden so many new technologies in the simple ways that mankind can move into, we will develop technologies that mankind will gradually, over time, will understand this process.
Les estoy mostrando
And the same
parte de esta tecnología para que vayan capacitándose y desarrollando este conocimiento para lograr esa conexión con el Creador.
ask yourself a very simple question. I put this before the scientists. Doesn't mean that the less surface you have, the less you can radiate to become the giver. And then, if that's true, what is the size of the Creator? The man sees himself generous, and he calls himself philanthropist by giving a few pieces of his plastic paper to someone to have a food, and he thinks he's very generous. Is the reality in a simple way? The smaller you become, you become so much that you become such a gift. Not to hold on to, but to give out to. That was, or is it, this the knowledge of the creation of the calling man, the Creator, as he said, I made man in the image of myself, even me being the man. Now you know why we are amongst you, to teach you to become part of the understanding of the totality, not to work the clock of the man and to become the kings and the rulers of man.
Yo les he enseñado y les he desarrollado para que aprendan a trabajar en este camino hacia el Creador, no para que usufructúen sus comodidades, su fuerza, su poderío.
In so many ways, the knowledge of the Creator becomes from now on the wisdom of the man, with no position and no possession. The more you know, the more you share, the more humble you become, that you can share that your
Lo más que, cuanto más comprendan, cuanto más compartan, lograr ser más humildes.
In so many ways, mankind needs to understand what kind of man he wants to be. As he said,
cada uno de ustedes deberá definir cómo o a qué nivel quiere crecer, si es que quiere crecer. Cada uno buscará su escalón en esta escalera hacia el Creador. De acuerdo a su comprensión de todos estos conocimientos.
We have given you the tools, we have given you the structures to do.
Le hemos dado las herramientas y los conocimientos para desarrollar todo esto. Quedan ustedes de poder trabajar con esto y evolucionar.
One day you'll find your way to the Creator. But one day mankind
Algún día encontraremos el camino hacia el Creador.
and the only understanding will be for the man alone and nobody else. Thank you very much. I hope you learn a little bit more about yourself.
Espero que hayan entendido, comprendido, aprendido algo más sobre todo esto.
For you to understand your own, the purpose and the reason for your creation and why. And
Deberán comprender la razón de vuestra creación.
You go through a usual break time. Some of us need to drink to bring some soul of the physicality within us, and some of us will ponder what was just learned and what does it mean to me. After the break, as usual, we'll come back. We'll try to answer if you have become mature enough to the knowledge of today. And if not, we still speak about the answers.
Iremos a un intermedio publicitario y después podrán hacer sus preguntas.
And if you can go for a break, and we'll come back and we'll go through the tools of understanding the knowledge of the Creator.
Podremos ir
Welcome back, everyone, to the 381st Knowledge Seekers Workshop, here today on Thursday, May 13th, 2021. Mr. Cash, are you ready to begin?
De nuevo al regreso de este buscador del conocimiento número 381. Adelante, señor Cash.
Okay, are you ready for questions at this point then?
¿Está listo para las preguntas?
Well, we have, it looks like a new person here in the attendees, Tatiana, I believe it is, with the hand up.
Tatiana, ¿tiene alguna pregunta?
And then the question is,
Hello?
yes,
Hi.
can you say who you are and where you're from? We hear you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's an honor to speak to you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you so much for the work you're doing for humanity and our planet. And thank you to everybody involved.
Gracias, señor Kesh, por el trabajo que está haciendo por la humanidad.
And everything, and thank you so much. Everything is working amazingly, and I have the paint pens, and now also thank you for my dog Rocco, because he also has very serious problems with his bones, and I think we're both feeling much better, so thank you.
Where are you from?
Oh, sorry. I was born in New York. My mother's German, my father's Spanish, my daughter's a Mexican, and my mother,
Soy de Nueva York y tengo mi hija que es de México.
And I have family everywhere, so
What a good mixture.
a citizen of the world, yeah, or whatever.
Yep.
So anyway, I have my own personal, path of life. Yeah, I've been searching for truth since very small. I became a missionary in Peru with my nuns, and they taught me.
He trabajado como misionera en Perú.
And many ways, and very wise people telling me, you have to find your mission in life, whatever. And I had a close to death encounter in the Amazon River in the tribes, and I realized my mission in life was with nature. And well, anyway, so sorry.
He estado en el río Amazonas.
I'm fascinated with all of this. I'm trying to cut
Estoy fascinado con todo esto.
You have out all the videos and everything, but anyway, I am so wise, very connected, I'm a Native American. I pray Mother Nature.
Soy nativa norteamericana.
I wanted to say thank you, and if there's any way I can be of help, it would be an honor for me. I'm part of the Nature Restoration Group, and I'm an ambassador there, whatever. And if there's anything I can do, anything I can be, I went to Brown and Yale University, so I do have a knowledge of everything, whatever. So if I can be of any help in Spain and in New York, wherever you think I could do a job, I'm totally, it would be an honor for me.
Thank you very much. I'm sure our soul finds a place to bring us that needs
Thank
where
you.
it be sooner or later, or even now, we are part of what it's supposed to be, to bring that change somewhere for others. Thank you very much for your words. And look into the Keshe Foundation, where the knowledge seekers, or the soul of the knowledge seekers need that change, and then you will be there.
Yeah, I'll do the teachings. I'm doing all the public ones now. I'll do the private one too, and then I'd love to be part of the team.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Keep in touch and find out what it is and where it suits you to feel hope with the knowledge.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, we have several questions in the Q&A.
Can I ask a question?
Tenemos varias preguntas y respuestas.
In the background, she's worked so hard, and she's spending many days and nights in hotels around China to be able to find lives. What you said at the beginning of today. Would you like to come in and tell us what's happening? How you managed to do this after 3 years work with different authorities and services?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Cash. It's a great day, and now I can feel the.
Juan Lin, desde China, nos podrá explicar algo de lo que estás haciendo de los últimos 3 años.
Is that
Can I tell you one? Can I ask you a question?
yes?
Can you tell us why the Chinese authorities, in a hidden way, kept us hanging till yesterday? What was the reason behind it?
Juan Lin, ¿podés contestarme esto? ¿Por qué las autoridades chinas hasta el día de ayer nos han tenido en el olvido o en la oscuridad?
Can I ask you, or can I put it the other way? We do it the Chinese way. Which day was the contract signed?
Yesterday.
Was it the birthday of Buddha?
Yeah, I think it's the birthday of Buddha. It's the moon calendar 84. If I'm not wrong, then check. I believe it's that day or today. Let me see.
You got to understand, Chinese are very, they drag it to a point, but they already have a time and a point before in their head what they want to. And I've seen this many times. I was explaining this to one of my seekers last couple of days. We are not used to it, but Chinese is very normal. When the office in Beijing was supposed to open up, they don't open the office at 9 o'clock in the morning, the first day and celebrate. They open the office at 10:29 in the morning, because that's the time when it brings good luck and everything is in balance as it has been told. So, if you work...
Debemos acostumbrarnos a que en China no abren una oficina a las 9 de la mañana, sino que ellos esperan hasta las 10:29 por alguna razón.
Such a time, such a minute, such a second, you have to do the thing and it works. And the Chinese are the same thing. They drag us to the day they want it to be the correct day for them, and this is what I see in the background. So, it's good for what you call the punctuality of time, not only the place. And they are very committed to this, what I call punctuality of time, to the second and the minute. And if you live in some part of China, they all get married at, I think it's a certain hour at certain minutes to 4 o'clock. You see, everybody gets married in Sanya, in South of China, all at a certain minute, because they believe that minute
En China todos se casan o hacen una actividad en cierto minuto, en cierta hora. Deben complementar esta normativa.
Lucky because the certificate of this company is my birthday, and yesterday it is the Buddha's birthday. It's April 8th, and I get the bank account.
Ayer fue el cumpleaños de Buda.
The contract done. So actually, I don't think it's the officer's arrangement. I would rather say that's the arrangement of the creator. Because I feel so much connected to that. And for today, your teaching, you enlightened me a lot. So I had a question. Because you say you create Mitra, and because the love of God and Mitra create the world. But actually, you said you create man I create man in my image. And that means in each man, the soul has the creator inside. And so my question is that Mitra is the collective soul of the humanity. And that's the time when we get back. Like everybody who know that and who get enlightened, and then we go back to restart a new cycle of the creation.
There's one word which you have to change the rest of the what you said. It is not the humanity, what is the universe. That's why man always looks that he is special. But the love of Mitra is the love of the creation of the universe, not this one. And this is what he says when the new cycle starts. It shall start. It is for the liberation of the whole of the creation. And that's why my teacher always says, I speak in the word of the man, but the soul of the knowledge is open to all of the universe. The same way as you translate a word into the dimension, in the Spanish, to French, or whatever, the knowledge of the soul is translating the language of man from the Zeus, from the Mars, and from another universe. Man only hears the part which he has what we call the frequency of the strength with you, as the voice. But the same knowledge in the dimension of creation has a spread across the universe. We teach the totality of the creation, not anymore single parts. It takes too long to go and get this way.
Nosotros enseñamos la totalidad de la creación, no simples partes de ella.
So, I hope I answered.
Oh, yeah, but then I had another question because in the Buddhist teaching, it always said it's like only like to be a human is a very treasure thing or like uneasy way or valuable things because it's the only like a creature or like only man can become a creator directly. That has a chance to go back to the creator. So is that true from your explanation?
What is true?
Yeah, I mean the Buddhist teaching they say like to be a human is so valuable because a human or a man is the only one who can directly go back to the creator in the universe. Maybe I can say in this way. So is that true?
Man always likes to be a specialist, but the truth is, do you think that is true? is the man the only creates things in the universe and has God become so pedantic and specific that only one race of his creation will reach the maturity? Or did Buddha just try to make some humans happy, that they are special? I think it's the latter.
Yeah, I'm already laughing at that. Interesting.
I understand. Would you like to tell us about your new structure, your new company, and your new building?
¿Para comentarnos algo de la nueva estructura?
Yeah, I feel so interesting that why the first industrial factory was being opened here in Zhengzhou, because you see China also means the China, I mean the port or something which in ancient time could be shipping to the Western world. That was what China was famous for. And after thousands of years, this place still make these things, but it's like in some times maybe like not as so shining as before, but now it's like also China government noticed that, want this place to be more shining as before, and also because our technology, you always want to connect our technology with the One Belt One Road, and this is the start point of the One Belt One Road, and now in this new era, and our technology starting from some origin place to restart the new Belt Road with our technology to spread outside, to spread all over China and all over the world. I think that has a big meaning. So in the future, this Jingdezhen not only be famous by China, but also be famous by our space technology. It became another new brand, new name card of this beautiful place. And also, I believe this technology can only be the place like people can accept it. After 3 years hard working, anyway, the researcher there of the poetry, the research institution, they had done a lot of tests, so that also give us a lot of credit. But even strange thing is, even you talk with the people who maybe not so familiar with our technology, but normal people, they can easily accept, and they are help a lot to promote it, and even they give the backup, or they are so proud to tell people what is this technology, and it's them to push the government to know more about us, to more accept us. So that means like if you want to plant a seed, you have to have the correct soil and land. So maybe that's why this is correct soil. This special place is a correct place to plant the seeds of our technology and make it grow up and prosperity. So I really thank a lot of people who was working here and local government officers.
Tengo mucha gente que está hablando al distintos niveles del gobierno, aportando esto. Veremos qué pasa.
the first reaction for them is scary. They want to escape because they never see so beautiful bright light.
Thank you very much. The point is, we didn't know where Jinanyang was. We didn't know. Okay, the Chinese know the center of the pottery where they actually started, but the Chinese leadership and national security and people who work in the background to direct technologies in China, they chose this place. And from what we know from the background, there has, as he says, I support solidly with what we call the new cycle. And the new cycle, what we call Chinese work with making the One Belt One Road, started from what we call the Silk Road. And the Chinese leadership had in the background that this is a new technology to start from the place where everything else started. But the reason behind it is very tremendous. This area is the center of the tea plantation. This area is what China is known for its tea, but mainly it is the center when the pottery started, where we can put the gases, as you've seen in the country, in everything the man uses to feed himself. As I said to Anvi, the work of the Keshe Foundation in this area is to provide gases to all the manufacturers, all the producers, all the artisans of the pottery, that we reach man to what he eats. We took China across this planet from this point. We started the work of the Silk Road, and now with the help and instruction of the Secretary of China, Keshe Foundation, through the production of the centers back here, not only we feed, we start the feeding point, the site where the first pottery came out, because China where it came out, to feed the rest of the world, but this place is the center of the space development, military center for Chinese too, where we link the advanced technology and the pottery together. This is the beauty of it. This is what we set out to do. I remember the first time we visited this area in China, as is published by the Chinese press. We went across many places, and one thing which asked the question, they took us the first time to what we call the space center of what we call this area.
Recuerdo cuando me llevaron allá en China a la región donde se produce toda la cerámica y después a la región donde está el centro de la astronáutica.
Originally, in the background, has been decided by the Chinese leadership that it will become the center of the new space development. We paid the visit. What I publish, what I release, you've seen this before, is where the area where the new factory is. And when we were in Martin, taken by the officials to see this area, I did not look at the pottery. I asked a simple question that what is happening here, because I see flights overhead, and they said this is where China is testing the new aircraft. It's a black zone. In a way, we are at the center of the space technology at the highest level. This is why we came here. When I said
Estamos en un centro de la astronáutica en un nivel muy alto ahí en China.
They wanted us in the first place we visited us in the picture with all the officials is to bring the technology to space. At the same time, every other thing which goes to it. We are respected in the Chinese structure as a technology, as a space development technology, and as we started in Iran, now with the Keshe Foundation offices of Tehran, we bring all the knowledge seekers of China into the center. those who help us in Shenzhen, those who help us in other places, those who develop technologies which uses gas technology. Now we bring them to the center. Up to now, they were doing something for themselves. Now, as knowledge seekers collectively, we bring the knowledge seekers in one point. Now they have a home. Be it on the defense, be it on the space, be it on agriculture. This is what we started in Tehran. Now we do the same in China. I have asked the Fish Foundation team to announce the next Friday for the meeting of all the Fish Foundation knowledge seekers in China. Because now we are recruiting. We want the knowledge seekers to do research and bring the research in and develop it with them. Up to now, they're obscured, somebody doing something somewhere, but now the whole knowledge of the Fish Foundation will go into this area. We make even that, we not only in the sense of the pottery, the beginning of the Silk Road, but the beginning of the area for what we call the space technology of China. And all the knowledge seekers who were with us in the past 10 to 15 years, now they can come to the center, they can come home to develop their parts, develop the knowledge, and this is what will be done next week. We need 3 ships running this place. The research is in the start, and we start the employment of the first 1,000 employees of the foundation in China, fully permanent place, and we develop this area to become the space valley, the spaceship valley of China. Thank you very much. It's been a long walk. This picture is the picture of our first visit 3 years ago to Tiananmen, and it has taken a lot of hard work to be able to achieve what we see as a new prestigious position for the first space center for Chinese national defense. Thank you very much for me. And thank you very much. Ciao.
Nos han presentado el principal centro de la astronáutica.
With all its hard work, always designing things in the background, the whole Foundation team across China. Now we have a home to give the knowledge information as an industry, as a place where you bring the change. Thank you very much for me. And I hope
a través de la industria podremos ampliar los conocimientos de los buscadores.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cash. Thank you for all the hard work. And thank you for
Muchas gracias, señor
knowledge
Cash.
to China.
Chinese knowledge seekers were there first. We just came to pay a visit. Thank you very much. Any other question?
¿Alguna otra pregunta?
Thank you, Mr. Cash. We have Salomia with a hand up here, and we have some questions in the Q&A.
Tenemos a tiro a Salomea, que quiere hacer alguna pregunta.
Go ahead, Salomia. You should
Yes. May I? Okay, it's a lovely day, Mr. Cash, because you gave great news with this China and Tehran Spaceship Institute, how do you call? And this is a hope for the humanity.
Interesante lo que nos han informado, señor Cash, referente al Centro Tecnológico del Espacio de Irán y de China.
Our essence of our being, which is totality. We start with this very harmonious country, because harmony is a principle in all policy of China. Even in external policies, they have harmony, and will be an example for whole humanity. And I hope that China and America will build together a new civilization, and with Iran together, why not? Civilization of peace. is all what we want. To have peace on this earth in order to have access to the whole civilization of the unicos, of the universe, at least. And now I will come back to my question. So, God is source of light, energy, and intelligence of the universe. God is consciousness. And I'd like also the second question to see and to be enlightened by you, if it's possible, to see what is the link between energy and light, but not in the way of Einstein stated, in your own way. Thank you very much. And God bless all of China people and especially Mr. Keshe.
Quiere saber la relación entre la luz y la energía. Yo le podría contestar que lea el libro número 2.
We explain energy in a simple way as magnetic fields in motion. And if you understand this, understand the totality of the creation.
Y que si comprende que la luz tiene que ver con la energía de su
creator moves in the span of the universe, in its interaction and in motion, it releases energies and fields that in a certain environment leads to creation of man or other lives across the universe.
Los flujos de energía en ciertas condiciones producen la luz.
And this is the essence of the creation.
Y esa es la base del segundo libro, la enseñanza del segundo libro.
Then that energy is our body, pure energy that we move. So in a way from the motion of the field of the creator, leading and being the essence of the creation of energy, we are part of it now. So we manifest according to time and position and place in different shape or form of different creatures of the creator. Any other?
Thank you very much.
¿Alguna otra pregunta?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Keshe. We've got a question from H. Nick in the Q&A. 2 questions. First one is there any product from Keshe Foundation that is used by well-known people so that people can be sure that it is working?
Next question.
¿Hay algún producto que fabrica la fundación de que ustedes saben que funciona en todo el mundo?
Monkeys. As I said, we don't have monkeys, and we don't have people to prove anything. If you listen over the years, we sometimes when some people have used our technology, we have referred to it.
No fabricamos monos.
Ambassadors to the kings and to the what we call the Papa with the Vatican. And we still think we're still using it, but we're still walking. Or he has used the system and managed to often bring Rome to standstill. So the famous people, one day they come out to say that they're using it, but they couldn't say.
They'll come out when it's popular. In the meantime, we have millions of people that are not so well known around the planet that are really working on it.
They're as important as the kings and the most important people of the world, because when they're in pain and you help them, they are the king of their own lives. I'm not going to mention anything in the background, but I spoke to Rick just before we come. I tried to, for years, to make a link with one of these, what we call world famous people, and coincidentally, I told Rick about it before we start. I received an invitation from him. It was a private invitation. And I thought, as I told Greg, now they start noticing. And this is the step we take. Most probably, on the different names and covers, they already ordered the pen and they've seen the benefit of it, but there's different ways of coming up with it. And we enter not to bring names as a product, so and so uses it. They have to come, like we heard from the lady just at the first question. We don't know who she is, where she was, and she comes to say that I use it and it works. And this is the beauty of it. And one thing we have seen, especially now, is
Hemos tenido informe de una señora que no sabemos de dónde es ni de dónde proviene, pero nos dice que ha probado la lapicera del dolor y que le ha hecho bien.
with the new series of injections. And they'll come to the foundation for a solution. And
Hay gente que se ha
the solution sits in
colocado las
understanding the transfer of the energy from the
inyecciones y ahora viene a buscar
what you call the
soluciones acá en la
what you call
fundación.
other things of it is that we do not know. Each organization uses different chemicals. Each nation has taken a different approach.
La verdad que no sabemos, cada organización, cada fábrica usa distintos químicos y distintas contaminaciones dentro de sus vacunas. No podemos cubrir todo.
The man stays in balance. Does not matter what they use. If you're in a space,
No tenemos ni idea de qué elementos hay en cada vacuna, ni cuál vacuna se han colocado.
we are dealing with billions of it. Maybe it's a good, what I call, sandbox to learn how to handle what I call new things in our body. As we travel the space, we'll come across these things, and we have to handle it. So, how do you handle?
El día de mañana, cuando estén en el espacio, lo que deben saber ustedes es cómo afrontar cada situación, tener ese conocimiento, poder arreglárselas por su cuenta. Estarán solos.
Okay, there was a second question, Mr. Kesh, from that same person. Why is the COVID solution not used by any country if it is working?
La segunda pregunta es, ¿por qué la solución del COVID no es utilizada por todos los países?
At the moment, the bank account, what you call,
En este momento todos están pensando en su cuenta bancaria.
we taught the knowledge to the people that they put the money in their own bank, save their lives. But some other leaders decided to go in a different way. We are expecting for certification for 2 applications in the next few days, maybe a couple of weeks from governments. You have to realize it's not our say-so. They have to test it. And now we are in a test phase.
Las decisiones de los distintos gobiernos que comprueben cuán efectivo es nuestra solución y si la quieren aplicar o no. No pensar en su cuenta bancaria.
You got to realize, I can give an example because we don't speak theoretically and by other things.
Nosotros no hablamos en forma teórica, aplicamos soluciones a todos los problemas que nos plantean.
He is the top man appointed by the Defense University of Iran, going to the health ministry meeting when he was getting approved for the Kesh Foundation because they have all the data. He lied from the instruction of it. We can say from the present president of Iran to disrupt that this technology doesn't get approved in the ethical committee of the Iran ministry, health approval committee in university in Iran because they're responsible for it. This man deliberately went in on instruction of the Iran President Rouhani, to make sure that the ethics committee in the last 10 minutes would not approve. We had approval. We have all the documents.
En Irán tuvimos la instancia donde se le demostró al Ministerio de Salud cómo funcionaba esto, cómo solucionaba el problema de la salud de la gente, y a último momento, cuando se presentaron todos los papeles al señor Rouhani, se tergiversó toda la información y la idea era no utilizar esta tecnología, ocultarla. Lo mismo ocurre en todos los países. Nadie tiene interés en desarrollar algo que es gratuito, fácil de hacer. Todos quieren pensar en su cuenta bancaria.
Given to Iran National Security to arrest me for whatever. It took them 3 months to find out that the president was lying to the nation because his bank account was full. You have to remember the brother of the president.
Rouhani se tomó 3 meses para contestar y solo pensaba en su cuenta bancaria. Ningún interés en poder dar la solución para salvar su gente. Y lo mismo ocurre en todos los países. No agrego, días pasados hemos visto la interferencia ocurrida en Brasil para ocultar todo esto.
Legalizes the use of the technologies, all the medicines, and everything was approved. The head of the hospitals, all the organizations, they knew 99% to get approval. This man walks in on behalf of the president of Iran, giving false and lies into it. And then we couldn't know what happened. It was 3 months, 4 months.
Este personaje que se presentó en nombre de Rouhani, la cabeza de Irán, y mintió que ocultó todo este desarrollo.
And changed the course. And now we are re-tracking everything back on to bring it back in. Otherwise, it would have been approved last year as what we call a solution for Corona. Now, the Iranian officials have taken a different approach. They'll come as an environmental in the next few days. Then, with the environment, we are happy because
si la gente hubiera hecho lo que tendría que haber hecho, el año pasado ya teníamos la solución para todo este problema.
There's no corona to go to the body. We don't need to use injection because it's been tested in Mexico, in Brazil, where the gases have been used and has brought zero death.
Esta misma experiencia la tuvimos en Brasil.
Well, hopefully with this new certificate which we receive, we start spraying cities and towns in Iran. We're not looking for injection. We are changing the environment. The corona comes from the environment. When we disturb the environment, that it cannot transmit, we know the job. Nobody gets it. And hopefully, by the time I return to Iran by the end of June, all that has been done on this side in the what we call facilities provided by the Iranian leadership and support of Iran will help the nation to walk away from corona. I take lead in these things. My objective in returning to Iran is twofold. In a way, a third, which is a consequence of that. The first thing is to open Iran Space Technology Center. Some people call it the Iran.
Mi objetivo en los próximos días es ir a Irán y mi primer objetivo será el desarrollo del centro espacial en Irán.
We are not using it because I'm Iranian. We are using it because the Iranians and the Chinese have started providing facilities for us in millions of dollars.
La China nos ha facilitado los fondos como para poder desarrollar esto en Irán.
Because the Iranian leadership have provided the facilities for us to bring the technology out. If we get, when I send the pictures of
Irán
the
ha
factory
sido el país que nos ha dado todas las facilidades para lograr este desarrollo. Hace años que estamos trabajando allí y que nos han facilitado todo lo que necesitamos en los laboratorios.
We have to wait the 20 days term of this, what I call government, to complete, and then I return to you.
Deberemos esperar al 20 de junio para que el Parlamento sea renovado de acuerdo a las nuevas elecciones que hubieron en Irán y cambie el gobierno.
The new technology of Iran. Everything is done. The positions for it is being built, it's getting finished. The offices of what we call new research centers all been allocated. They're working on it, they're literally finishing the offices.
Hay nuevos centros de desarrollo en Irán que están desarrollando justamente esta tecnología.
The new scientific evolution, and as I said to the Iranians, our oil fields would not be attached to the ground, but our oil fields from now on will come from the soul and the knowledge of them. We used to export oil, which used to be 95% of the income of Iran. Now it's around about 20-30%, if that. We become a scientific organized nation. And with it now, the new oil industry in the development technology of Iran is new factories, new processes. Everything will come as a flagship. And as you've seen, we share with China. We have positions in Mexico. We have places we can demonstrate in conjunction with the Americans in Arizona. So, in a way,
tenemos los distintos centros de desarrollo, como en México, en Arizona, Estados Unidos. Y estamos aplicando estos conocimientos para desarrollar nuevos aparatos, nuevos accesorios.
We don't need famous people. The fame of the technology is millions of dollars, billions of dollars. Now it's backed by government to us. What we call the factory in India is a collaboration of the Union and the Chinese in every means, from the finance to scientists and the workers. There's a combination of the work, and then the habit of the European is when something goes somewhere, then we go and try to get into it, but it's normal. It happened, and now we have the stuff. The famous, what we call, people, they only go where they can show their fame and their famous. In this establishment, everybody is famous because we all have some developed the technology for next step. There we are there. I have given the shorties because they carry with us the knowledge which is interested to Iran to allow the Iranian scientists in conjunction with the Chinese to start the first phase of secret. You have to understand, Chinese have done a lot of work in Keshe Foundation, atmospheric technology, but they don't have the key. So, with the collaboration of the government coming to power in Iran, we'll do it. You have to understand political position with Iran and China. China stood behind Iran to bring the
Debemos comprender la situación entre China e Irán, el respaldo político que le ha dado China a Irán y económico también.
China did a lot of work in the background to pressurize the 5+1, to be lenient, and to start the what we call the negotiation and the sanctions to be released and everything else. But
deberemos empezar a trabajar sobre las sanciones que se le han implantado a Irán en esto de la paz mundial.
People are not aware of it. It's not part of the policy in the West. The behavior, the misconduct of the Rouhani is so shameful, and he went through against
la inconducta del señor Rouhani referente a todo esto no tiene nombre.
that the Chinese closed all the bank accounts of the Iranians. Even the Iranian ambassador doesn't have an account in China anymore.
Ha cerrado inclusive la embajada iraní en China. A ese extremo ha llegado.
The Americans, under his terror, there's an American passport, as we say, that he brought a lot of harm to Iran. And now that he's going, the negotiation and everything else is eased off, and when he's going the next month, you will see a huge changes in all directions between the relationship with Iran and China. And Kashmir Nation movement is one. People have to understand the politics. Why suddenly, as I said, Chinese start easing the process. And Kashmir Nation being a Iranian knowledge.
La gente debe comprender lo que es la política mundial, cómo cada país se comporta de acuerdo a sus intereses.
It's not coincidental, son. Everything. Blinding. Mr. Rouhani betrayed the relationship between Iran and China. Very bad.
Rouhani
The people who helped us
ha traicionado su relación entre Irán y China.
to ease and bring reduction in sanctions in the 5+1. The first thing Rouhani did, and he went and stopped the Chinese behind the back. He is disgraceful. The behavior was against every ethic we stood.
Es vergonzoso el comportamiento que ha tenido Rouhani referente a su gente.
Their position to what it was, and we see a lot of close relations between Iran and China. You never do this to people who come to Rouhani as no. As you remember, he said when they banned them, to 3 blocks from the United Nations, he said, we used to travel all these streets of this city, we are educated in this town, we already sold our soul to you. Just listen to the press, what they said before. Any agreement which by the present Iranian government, in any shape or form, especially by Nazir and the president, will not be ratified in the Iran parliament in the next 30 days. Because this is all to the private accounts and to the benefit.
Los próximos 30 días cambia el gobierno en Irán y esperemos se produzcan estos grandes cambios.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. Doug had a question about the new enhanced pain pens. Can you explain more about them?
Yes, the blue.
Preguntan acá por los nuevos lápices del dolor.
I think you
¿Qué efectos
were asked this
produce?
question before and you preferred not to answer it because it had the
We can't answer it.
secret sauce.
You remember for nearly 10 years, everybody was asking about the cash liquid in the Coca-Cola bottle.
Yes.
And so many questions everywhere on the internet. What's the secret?
Este nuevo desarrollo tiene sus secretos.
This is the same.
Recuerda que hace 10 años
Understandable. Trade
la
secret.
gente siempre se preguntó qué líquido secreto había dentro de la botella de Coca-Cola.
The thing is now,
Es todo tan simple, pero todo tiene su
for
razón de
example,
ser.
by the air enhancement unit, you should receive a loose piece, an item. And we ask you to position this item on the wall or something opposite to the unit. You understand? That this creates a dynamic motion continuous of the room. Because we have to test, when we make a claim, we have to test the systems. And we have systems, we have measuring tools that if you read literature about negative oxygen ions, they say over 10,000 is what you call beneficial. In doing and using the systems, even some people buy 2 units facing each other, we have tested in rooms will reach 20,000 balance. And so we measure things, we have what we buy the tools to measure. What we say something is falls within conformity of what we call legislation and the rules. So you have the usual normal room, maybe how we have tested in normal rooms between 300 to 400 the negative ion. With this, the literature says anything over 10,000 is highly beneficial. We reach 20,000. I don't like to go over 20 because it's a shock absorbent position. And we test it. So it's not a secret. We have developed technologies in the background technologies which we reach to this point. And we can hold it. Marvin can tell you.
Hemos desarrollado una tecnología donde duplica los efectos de la sanación, los flujos de energía para sanar. Estos se han medido con instrumentos.
Yes, they use that for the paint.
Yeah.
And they say even a lot of people smoking in that room, but you didn't feel the smoking, and
You didn't see it.
Yeah, then it's clear air, and even they say they can have the balance like temperature, like even they say in the winter you didn't feel cold, and we had a hot pot there.
Yeah, you can imagine how many 10, 20 high, what's called powerful people, all Chinese, all military, all smoking, plus the hot pot, which is a pot which is full of hot water, you cook your own food in it. The steam and the smoke had no effect, you couldn't even smell it. Because the gentleman who organized the dinner, he got up and he said, now you see, you're all smoking, and no smell and no odor and no smoke. We were innocently invited to a dinner, and then our technology was shown to the people who are. And that led the company to sell this paint now to the Chinese army. It's used by the military because there is a rule in China, and they can tell you, products which is used by army can only be manufactured in China. Chinese army doesn't use any outside technologies or materials for their forces. Am I correct? Are you there with me?
Yes, like have to be Chinese produce.
So when you buy the paint, when you buy these new, we call enhancement units for air or whatever, you can, they're all connected in the structure, because if you paint one wall in one of the gases, the paint, and then you put the air enhancement unit on the other side, you get much bigger effect.
Con los nuevos productos que se ofrecen, con estos productos para mezclar en la pintura, si pintan una pared y ponen el aparato para purificar el aire del otro, ahí tendrán mucho mejor efecto. Estamos tratando de mejorar los productos continuamente.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kesh. We have a question from Paulo, who's put it in both the YouTube and in our Q&A here in the Zoom. So I will say it as it is. It's perhaps has some poetry to it, but let me just say, he says, immutality is in mutality as mutality is in immutality. Please tell us what has been immutable in the divine plan since before creation.
Now, can you ask him to explain what he means?
Pablo hace un juego de palabras y Don Kesh le dice qué es lo que quiere decir con eso, cuál es su
You
pregunta.
see, interaction of the field does not have any pre-plan. Creator never planned to create mankind. Mankind is created out of an action of accidental interaction of the fields. The same, you can see the example of it. You put an egg and millions of sperms, and one accidentally manages to penetrate, and that accident leads to creation of a new life. What the color of the eye is going to be, what the shape of the lips is going to be, what the hair is going to be, is the coincidence of the interaction of the fields in those two pictures when they came together. There is something very interesting. Maybe we can talk about it now that you're a little bit wiser. The children of the soul will have the feature of the Creator. In essence of that physical dimension, but in the presence of the soul. Because they don't take the dimension of the physicality, but they take a dimension of the best fields of the universe. What is to be collective? So we are not connected only to the fields of the man in the DNA, but we are connected to the field of the universe, because the soul is made up. And I said that very recently, and I emphasize on it because those who don't understand will come to understand even by the position of the souls. Then somebody asked me, it's just that you don't explain completely. Adultery become impossible because the fields you have chosen to create that soul have already positioned themselves to the
Los nuevos conocimientos sobre el futuro nacimiento de criaturas, el adulterio será imposible.
No man, no woman would make a mistake to endanger that position because the soul will not allow it.
El alma de la mujer no permitirá el
The
adulterio.
soul of the Creator is not just the soul of the man. They never make mistakes. Even in the dimension of physicality might look this mistake, but when the soul accepts to create that soul of the child, it means everything to do with its existence is already been structured. It's that magnet which is put in, and everything has taken shape and position that it can lead to creation. So, in so many ways, the dimension of the physicality, the pitfalls with that, man will not make love the way you do physically. You make love with the souls, you make love with the fields. Physical
El hombre
interaction, the way
no hará el amor como lo ha hecho
it
hasta
becomes
ahora,
history.
lo hará en la
Because the
forma
nature of the
del
creation,
alma.
love making in the way God. Do you make love to God? No. But the love of God is with you and He always shouts.
¿Tú haces el amor con Dios? No.
In a different way. We create the children of the souls in a different way. And it's a commitment for the cycle of the life of not only that soul, but the souls which are created always in the future. As it matures,
De las ambas partes.
has the love of the Creator has been indifferent to your grandfather, your father, to you, or your grandchild? No. And this is what mankind has to understand. Even you might have a desire to be adulterous, your physicality will not take that step because the soul does not allow it. And those who take that step to push it will pay with the loss, the loss
una persona
of the soul, the physical soul.
en la parte física
because it would not commit
resulta ser adúltera, quiere ser adúltera, y su alma no lo
soul of
permitirá.
physicality will decide to leave the position of the interaction with the physical life as it will not damage the soul of him. Because he has to find a position, it's only a agreed position, because this is the best for the life. And this will come hard to a lot of man thinking way of life. And those who push to create a condition, they will lose the position and the control of the soul of physicality, and then you have the consequences with the damnation of physical life.
Si alguna persona pierde esa
Understanding the process.
normativa, tendrá sus consecuencias.
Not in the presence of nature. As nature is there, and its fields and its existence to show to the love to the creator, and cannot be tainted.
Mitra ha venido a enseñarnos la belleza de cualquier relación.
We'll teach you more about this in the coming. And give you examples.
Les enseñará
You remember
algo más de esto en el futuro próximo.
Christ said, he denied him 3 times by the time the animal sings. This time that singing comes from the soul of the physicality, and there shall be knowledge. You will learn the cycle of new life is the same in this space as is understood. We don't have churches and we don't have wedding ceremonies. But the souls commit themselves in that direction, and direction those which try to portray the faith of themselves. In the dimension of the soul. And then what happens to physicality is in the soul. Any other question?
Yes, indeed. We have several more. We have a thing from Antonio who mentions he's now using the enhancement pain pen and has found the results on my trigger finger has improved 100%, where I'm not in pain now. Thank you again. And he has a question.
Can we send a bill for the effect? Now we sold the material.
Antonio dice que ha probado el nuevo lápiz y que le ha respondido el 100%.
The soul. When you bless and effect, you already given from the soul for elevation of the knowledge. So there is no second bill. You remember the old song? The boy says, "Mama cleaned my room, $1. I lived there, $2." And at the end, it says the total is $11, I think. And the mother says, "I cleaned you. I told you I'll stay many nights away. My bill for you is nothing." Just
So, Antonio does mention Professor Kesh. This is great news to see the manufacturing set up in China. Looking forward to the breakthrough of this beautiful technology into the mainstream. Thank you so much for the hard work and to
Gracias por todo el trabajo que se está desarrollando y espero ver toda la nueva producción de las fábricas en China.
Magnetical ray emanating from one plasma of a different strength. Is each magnetical ray emanating from one plasma of a different strength? He says, why I'm asking is that the entire universe can be reached from one small plasma, and would this mean it is within itself a combination of everything?
more or less, yes. because it's connected to a source which has honor. And itself in that spectrum and the position is always in balance with the source. It just depends what the strength of the gravity and what the strength of magnetic field it has in this.
Cada punto que es un centro de campo magnético y gravitación emana flujo de energía hacia todos lados y todos interactúan.
Thank you. Fried mentions, dear Mr. Kesh, you hid certain secrets in the books. How is this then kept in translations in other languages?
I always said, you have to understand what I said, what I'm saying. First of all, English is not my first language. And secondly, if you really want to understand the true essence, the way I wrote, read book edition number 1. Book edition number 2 is adjusted for English people to understand by editor. The pure original is the edition 1 and edition 1 in all 3 books before being touched by the editor. But I always said,
la pregunta es
si
el libro original en inglés no es comprendido bien, ¿cómo en las traducciones pues podemos esperar comprenderlo? Todos estos conocimientos están expresados allí. Mi lengua original tampoco es el inglés. Es la intención en el libro que está puesto inclusive en la primera edición, porque la segunda edición fue corregida y ha traído desinteligencias. Es la intención de cada enseñanza en cada libro la que debe ser interpretada.
Understanding that one. So, doesn't matter. It's translated into Spanish, and instead of saying right, it says left, because in Spanish, left, right is left, or the right. But when you read it, you so understand the knowledge. This is a knowledge of the creation, not a book written as a, what do you call it? A transfer of what I call some words.
Cada idioma tiene su manera de interpretar cada palabra. En inglés tenemos la palabra derecha, que también puede ser interpretada como lo correcto. Y esa es la intención de cada significado que uno quiere dar a cada palabra. Cada idioma tiene su forma de interpretar cada dicho.
Word peace instead in exchange with technology. And I'm happy that you are glad about that. And I bless all the Chinese knowledge seekers, the Chinese people who accepted this safe place for technology, and which this old country has contributed in philosophical way and their way of life to humanity, hard work people, and I bless everybody in the whole village of the earth, any color, any race, any nation, any religion that contributes to peace on earth, and especially the technology in exchange for peace. I give all my blessing to them, and especially to you from my heart. And my question, I have a question. First of all, thank you for this beautiful, delicious teaching. And I hope that's a step towards teaching people, all of us in the same boat, to see beyond the material limits and understand that between what's not visible
Hay
and
ciertas
what's
palabras que se están
visible, there's
usando
still life
que
going
no se
on,
pueden
and
traducir.
we
Están ahí
can go
apelativos
further to realize,
como
like
enseñanzas
thinking about what
deliciosas.
you
¿Cómo
said
se puede traducir eso?
and feeling the field. And the question I have is, I
¿Cuál
don't
es la
have, I
pregunta?
didn't write my question, but I was in the park. I think you said that wherever we are in each position, we can get in touch with that place we want to be or to contact.
Usted ha
And I
dicho
wanted
que
to ask
no,
what you mean by
no
our
importa dónde
emotional
estemos,
fields,
podremos
fields,
ponernos en contacto
by
con
our
cualquier
soul
lugar.
fields, both of them, because there is a nuance, it's a small difference. How could I contact another planet, my
¿Cómo
father?
puedo contactar otro
So
planeta?
I have some experience about that, but is it by my emotion or by my soul?
¿Lo contactaré con mi emoción o con mi alma?
Now you're an old hand in Keshe Foundation. How does the emotion, how is emotion created? Emotion is created from interaction of the field of the soul of the man.
Yes.
With
La
the soul of the
emoción
man,
es
the
la
soul of the
interacción
man.
entre el alma
Okay.
y el físico de la persona.
It's very interesting. It's very interesting. Sometimes now, and some 30, 40 years ago, when we walk in the street, we used to see people who talking to themselves. They used to laugh, they used to shout sometimes.
Hace 40 años
We used to
atrás
call them crazy.
podíamos ver gente caminando por la calle y hablando por sí sola.
The interesting thing is, with this new technology of mobile phone,
Con esta nueva tecnología de los celulares, toda la gente va caminando y hablando por sí sola. ¿Qué podemos pensar de todo esto?
They say the guy is crazy, he's talking to himself. And then you look, oh, it's become normal for all of us to be crazy. Because
¿Qué
now
es
we
normal?
carry the soul of the phone in our ears. Have we become schizophrenic or now we have
¿Nos hemos convertido en esquizofrénicos caminando por la calle hoy en día?
The real voice of the soul of the man inside him. No, the earpiece in his ear. And this is what the teachings are. And then when you walk in the park and you suddenly have no earphone and you laugh or you remember walk this park or is what you wanted to tell to your son but it's not there, but
¿Qué decía Víctor?
and it laughs and makes you to smile and you hear what he answers you
Te
because
tapa la
now
voz
have you ever thought for a
de
second
Keshe.
you're walking and you talk to or you think about telling somebody something and then you imagine the answer and then answer to that the question or they have another question you answer or he asked me this I'm going to tell him that, but did you ask yourself a question that what he was going to ask, or is it his soul in touch with your soul? He puts the question to you that you came up with the answer. So in fact what we call the dream, and now we give question and answers or we solve a problem with somebody who doesn't. Is it us who's doing the thinking? Or is it our soul in touch with their soul solving the problem inside your brain? And you feel differently or you show different emotion of laughter. Oh, he tells you a joke or, oh, you're a stupid man, this doesn't work that way. But there's nobody with you. Where did the knowledge come from? Where did the question come from? Is it the creation of your brain Or is it the question, the interaction of your soul with his soul, where he asks you a question and you answer it? And I found the solution. Does he have to be present?
Cuando ves una persona caminando por la calle y no tiene un celular en la mano y lo ves hablando, no es lo que él está escuchando en su alma y está contestándole al alma, y lo llamamos esquizofrénico. ¿Qué diferencia hay entre esa persona y la persona que está caminando con el celular en la mano y hablando y escuchando continuamente?
Next time, when you think or you carry an emotion or you're answering someone's question or what you might be done, ask yourself one question. Is it the soul who's putting the question?
La próxima vez que sientes una emoción, una pregunta, piensa en esto.
Find out if we're talking to this one. This is what is part of the process of the understanding of the new science, the science of creation. How come you call the other one I had a dream? Now you speak to the soul directly and give your answers, and it's not a dream anymore. Because you think it was you. Well, in fact, it's not you anymore. You do not exist.
Thanks for this knowledge. And another question is, if you permit, like we were talking yesterday with knowledge seekers, when there is a question of detachment, I feel there is a gap between detachment and the fear of what is going on after. And we don't...
Why do you have a fear with detachment?
Because they think they have to give it all away, like Jesus said. And I told them it's a question of having the money. It doesn't matter. We can have all the money, but as you said, we don't depend on that. We don't trust on that. We don't put all the force and aspiration on that, and we say we can do what we want with our hands, create what we want as riches, and put this trust on emotion and soul, which gives us much more in power and feel and creation and liberate us. So we lose here, but we gain in power and liberty and joy. I think this teaching of today was a bridge for this matter, I think, to start thinking. And if you, yes. If you permit the last one,
¿Me permite una tercera pregunta?
Before yesterday, then in another teaching, at the end I talked about the earth, which is suffering from whatever is going on the surface. If we imagine that the earth is a plasma, and the plasma has emotion, has soul, as we have seen with the plants. So the earth is related with the plasma emotion of individuals, the souls of people on the surface, the animals and plants on the surface. So if the people have bad emotion, are sad, are crying, are not in a good, happy way, so the earth emotion has to be affected by that, or maybe the soul of the sun or the moon. So this soul, this emotion of the earth, would that erupt and react to this non-satisfaction and hunger of a non-satisfaction of its emotion? And that's what we say. There are catastrophes at the Judgment Day or whatever in the whatever.
Maybe I can answer you in a different way. We don't see Earth moving and jumping and moving in changing direction or going slower or going faster.
No vemos a la Tierra que pega saltos, gira, da vuelta. Todo tiene su forma de ser y mantiene su camino.
In the average, well, not the average, but the collective average sense of the emotion of the life on this planet is always in balance.
El promedio del balance del globo terráqueo es
and it's us who bring certain directions.
Somos nosotros los que traemos acciones y reacciones extrañas.
In so many ways, in totality, the emotion of the ant, the dog, the man, the trees,
las emociones de las hormigas, del perro, del hombre, todo tiene un camino.
Because we are created out of that heartbeat. And in so many ways,
todos tienen un
another
latido.
heartbeat to it would create a different condition and different position. So the soul of this planet does not change because somebody is in pain. Because the totality of it.
El alma de la tierra no cambia porque hay una persona que intenta hacerlo.
I used to explain this in a very simple way that people used to do the rain dance and they used to sacrifice a virgin to end the droughts and everything. Did it happen actually with a dance, or did it happen because of the soul of the sacrifice entity reached the point that brought the emotion of the people who did the sacrification? And this is very touchy, very amazing if you've done a lot of tests with the dynamic reactors. And then you understand the energy stands always total balance. The conservation of magnetic fields is very much the same as conservation of the energy. It's just that which constants and which bits of it you want to ignore, that only elevates what you want to prove. Assumptions. And we see many scientists, their work is all an assumption because they want to prove one thing that they are correct and they thought of it. Everything else doesn't exist. The equation of relativity is one of them. The speed of light, M is called C. C is called M. What you call the speed of light is another assumption. When Einstein started it, it was so big, but he wanted to connect the energy to the speed of light. And he made a lot of assumptions, and he took all those, everything which could change to this simple equation is all ignored, and that's why half of the science has gone wrong. E equals MC squared was if you look at it when he started it, was a very long equation. He just said ignore the assumption, assume this, assume that, to get to this point. The guy should have said, well, this is what I'm going to say, and that's it. It's for you to make assumptions. And this is the way we teach. We give you all the facts. Now you go and make it on the sunshine side picture.
Nosotros te enseñamos toda la tecnología. Tú tomas la que te favorezca o te convenga o que te llame la atención.
Assume that a grain, I don't want to touch the animals because we know they have soul, that we eat. And if we imagine that a grain of rice or wheat has a soul, and then we fabricate
We don't
it.
need to imagine it. That's
No, of course, you know. And it has a soul, and we eat it. That's it. And we know everything comes from the light and everything from the source and goes back to the soul. So this also goes back. What I wanted to ask is, as it's the custom, it used to be a custom that people pray for this grain we eat, thank it. Does it help to have the soul of that grain to go to the source with the happy residues of his souls? And also for the animals, like praying for them, like giving from our heart and soul, thank them, to wish them the happy life, happy existing, and love, to accompany this sacrifice food in exchange for our profit, to get energy from them. While we are waiting to have the plasma food, the plasma technology food, not killing or anything.
we pray for becoming close or to reach or thank God or the Creator for what He gives us. We pray to the animals that we slaughter, as you've been to the Islamic slaughterhouses and the Jewish one. There is a tape continuously saying the prayer of the slaughter, whatever. But if it was a man saying it, we pray to it the true way, not by the microphone or by the speaker. Does that bring to the point that when we take a spoon of rice and there are 200 grains in it, we pay for every single grain? I think we spend all our life praying and thanking the souls. By the time we are 80, before we thank enough the whole plate of rice we eat. And the reality is, you have to be thankful or prayerful to the totality of what this planet gives us and understand it, and what comes from the field of the universe to create and sustain life on this planet. Then do we pray for the soul of one land when we slaughter it, or do we pray for every soul of grain we choose it? Eating, killing, the separation of the soul of physicality and soul of any entity from each other by what we call separation of the two or by death, unless it's done naturally, is forbidden. Man shall not eat anymore to destroy the soul of a grain, as much as man shall not eat to kill an animal who has one soul, collective soul, for the presentation of his life. This is whole part of the work of the new technology. When we go to the understanding of traveling the depth of this universe with the speed of man, We cannot take all the camels, all the cattle, and all the cotton. Man has to learn to eat with the, what I call fields of his soul. And what is away.
El hombre debe aprender a alimentarse de su alma, no de criaturas como un camello, una vaca o un cerdo, ni de un grano. Todos tienen alma. ¿Por qué alimentarse de otras almas?
Thank you.
Do you have anything more in the background?
I was hoping you might put a quick word in for Bente about the topic of dilution, of plasma dilution, and how do you dilute?
Comentar algo sobre la dilución del plasma,
especially in terms of the initial fundamental plasma that might be magnetically diluted
del plasma original producido hace
This
años.
is part of the teaching to come. We don't dilute the plasma. You open the plasma.
Usted no diluye el plasma, lo abre al plasma.
We call yes. I think somewhere we refer to the spring in the clock. The spring is still a spring, but it depends how much you tighten it and what energy you store in it. And where to
Lo hemos comparado a veces con la cuerda de un reloj. Todo depende de cuánto tensionas la cuerda del reloj, pero siempre da energía.
Detachment, in a way. Because when we detach, we open up. We feel like we're opening up because we let go of whatever emotional problem or isn't that a dilution when you feel that opening or that release of?
Okay, let me explain it in a material world. You put a spoon of sugar in a cup of tea. It gets diluted.
Déjame lo enseñar en la parte materia. Tú pones una cucharada de azúcar dentro de tu copa.
And put the same amount of sugar in it. Will it taste sweeter? Or in reality, is it sweet without measuring the level of sweetness?
La dulzura de ese líquido, aunque lo diluyas.
If you get a spring of a clock which always explains the same as the plasma, how much you tighten that spring, it gives you the energy stored.
Ese líquido dulce va a ser siempre dulce, no va a ser agrio, porque lo diluyas. No pienses en materia, piensa en la energía, esa energía de la dulzura.
We create a condition for different strength of the field of the same entity to manifest itself. Plasma does not have a water to dilute it, does not have a sweetness to taste the sugar of it, the extent of the sugar in it. It has a field strength, which is the point of its interaction.
Esa agua tiene un punto de interacción, siempre da la dulzura.
Creating the field strength that the fields within the structure manifest self-satisfaction of the observer. That's what you call dilution in plasma physics.
Todo depende del punto de observación del observador.
Bonus answer.
Thank you very much for today. I hope we brought you in good news today. We brought the start of another point.
Muchas gracias a todos por estar presentes hoy.
The International Operational Education Foundation is in the hand of the knowledge seekers in different shape or form. And in so many ways, As I explained in another teaching, if you want to keep us away from the hand of the governments that dictate to us that we can spread the knowledge and how we spread the knowledge, now you see in this position in China, we need donations to set this company up, to equip it, to keep everything else with it going. I have financed for a long time, I keep on financing it, but it needs huge amounts of effort from the knowledge seekers, both financially and physically, and especially Chinese and the knowledge seekers who want to see their idea to be developed into practical ways that can help the other. So we request from the Kishwani knowledge seekers worldwide to become philanthropists by your time, by your research, that we can develop what you have research you don't need to do in China, or financially to be able to do the last step in creating these kind of facilities to become operational. Thank you very much to the Chinese team for all the hard effort and work, and finally being in this whole time to say that the other knowledge seekers around the world are working the same way. We all work on our own ways and our own deeds, and hopefully we'll see a new horizon for the foundation time. Thank you very much.
Esperamos ver un nuevo horizonte para la fundación. Contribuyamos todos para que esto se cumpla.
Mr. Kirsch, may I interject one more quick thing here? We're talking about these international places for people to meet, for scientists to meet, and for various countries to take their roles in this way for international peace and for developing the technology. It's my wish that Canada would be able to contribute to that, because Canada is often in the middle of these kind of deals to help negotiate, and there's a lot of Iranians in Canada, there's a lot of Americans in Canada, there's a lot of people from all over the world in Canada. So I wanted to show my idea of a grandiose way, a facility for that could be possibly built at some point, in my mind at least, and I just wanted to show what it would look like if that was to manifest according to my dreams. So here's the facility that I would like to see nearby.
Este es un diseño, una idea que yo tengo para difundir toda esta tecnología, porque tenemos en Canadá gente de todos los orígenes.
Plasma Research and Development Facility. And this would overlook
Esto sería un centro de desarrollo de toda la tecnología.
Washington State in the USA, and it would be a beacon for peace for the world to see, and possibly even visible from space. So that's my dream. I just wanted to interject it here. I don't know how that works out, but you never know.
Está hablando de que posiblemente esto se pueda ver del espacio. Ahora yo pregunto, ¿qué diferencia hay entre estos domos y todas las pirámides construidas hace miles de años sobre la Tierra? ¿Alguien le lleva el apunte a estas pirámides? ¿Saben para qué fueron construidas? ¿Cuál fue el objetivo de su construcción?
In the next 12 months, next 2 or 3 years, new legislation will come to different parliaments around the world in respect to the use of the technology, the guns, the space, and everything else. And these are inevitable. The governments will take steps to secure their national interests in different structures, buildings, and places and positions. And so we can all submit these kind of ideas, and hopefully we'll see how
Los gobiernos en el futuro van a tratar de
it's a very nice
controlar toda esta tecnología, estos conocimientos. La idea es que nosotros tenemos que
but in general,
diseminar todos estos conocimientos, igualar a todos los seres humanos.
We hopefully see developments in a couple of other places in the world. With our television channel coming up, and it was building up very slowly.
Nuestro canal de televisión tiene su objetivo también, tratar de informar en cuanto más cantidad de idiomas posibles para que la gente sepa aprender, desarrollar sus conocimientos, sus habilidades.
Yes, it could have all the products of the Keshe Foundation store and so on, demonstrating and on display as an inspiration for those that come to find out about what technology looks like and what it's about. And I would have greenhouses and other research structures around as well as part of the facility, let's say.
Thank you very much. As the guy says, thank you very much for today, and I hope we meet again next week. And another place, another position, and another time. Maybe we have some more news for you in development. But please, Chinese Keshe Foundation.
Muchas gracias por la atención de ustedes y en los próximos días seguiremos aportando más información, más enseñanzas.
Beijing time, or 2 o'clock, which is 8 o'clock Beijing time on Friday, we meet for the Chinese community to start manning, employing, and bringing people that this structure we have just signed to become operational very rapidly. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dean, and everyone in the background for handling these teachings of us.
Well, congratulations, Mr. Keshe. It seems like a milestone for you and the Keshe Foundation today, so that's great.
Thank you very much. You will see beautiful structures which now is getting set for Keshe Foundation in Tehran, in Iran. This is the beginning of it, and some of them obviously.
Los próximos días verán las nuevas estructuras construidas en Irán, en Teherán.
The 2 new space centers primarily turned to Iran.
El nuevo centro del espacio.
We give a new meaning to space travel.
Esto le dará un nuevo significado a lo que es el viaje en el espacio.
And it happened to be Iran. And we thank the Office of Civil Society of Iran, leading Iran to the edge of science, promoting new technologies based on nuclear to space, pharmaceuticals to nanotechnology. You've got to understand the wisdom of the Society of Iran has brought Iran to the position it is today, and no one else. As we have seen many presidents who have sold Iran to every nation on this planet for a few dollars in their bank. Thank you very much for today, and we meet hopefully very soon.
Hey, excellent, Mr. Keshe. Thank you very much for delivering today's workshop. Those who still have some questions left over, just bring them into the next Knowledge Seekers workshop. Should be same time and place next week, hopefully, and expectedly. Sorry for the inconvenience with the date was incorrect through part of the workshop there, and some people are concerned about that, but it is a live workshop and it wasn't recorded, and it is Thursday, May 20th, 2021 today. Thank you everybody for attending today's 381st Knowledge Seekers workshop. We also do have the One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace coming up, as usual, on Tuesday at 4 p.m. Central European Time, as usual. So look forward to that. And I think that's it. Okay. Thank you, everyone. See you next time around. Thank you so much, Mr. Kesh. Bye for now.
Innovative, revolutionary, stellar development, purest universal knowledge. In a transformative, futuristic design. The Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit. The very first new evolutionary spaceship technology has been rolled out for mass production. Our Universal Body Enhancement Spaceship Unit is constructed from high-quality materials carefully selected by our team of experts. Embedding the essence of the new GANS plasma science and technology, it uses collective plasma field technology for changing and enhancing the environment of the body of the man. This new plasma enhancement changes the environment of the body to allow it to return to its natural, balanced, energetic condition, as in the womb of the mother, allowing every cell in the body of the man to find its natural, original field strength balance. The shape and field distribution in this new space plasma technology replicates the inner structure of the universe and replicates the balanced fields from which the man was created at the point of inception in the womb of the mother, not only receiving balance in the physical, but also in the emotional sense too. For the first time in the history of man, a system has been developed and delivered, which not only enhances the physical body of the man, but also enhances the emotional part of the user of the system, hence reducing and eliminating many problems that could not be solved in the world of science, to bring the body of the man into near perfection, as at the time of birth. This new spaceship technology can be within the reach of every man today and can be ordered by medical practitioners, sports specialists, and healthcare centers. The Universal Enhancement Spaceship Unit, the future you have been waiting for, is here, The journey from space to spaceship technology has started. Every order is subject to a contractual agreement and might require additional accessories priced separately for applications according to each case. You can order or contact us at office@at.kfm.global for additional information. We are the Keshe Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on Earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. keshefoundation.org/donate.
John, en nombre de la comunidad hispana te damos las gracias por tu traducción y tu esfuerzo. Gracias.
No hace falta agradecer, Víctor.
Bueno.
La verdad que el audio es bastante entrecortado, bastante dificultoso para comprender lo que se estaba diciendo, pero bueno, se hace lo que se puede.
Sí, por lo menos nos hemos enterado de algo. Muchas gracias.